Hello, everybody! I hope you are all having an excellent Monday, the beginning of the week for some of us already in the far side of the world. It's Tuesday and Monday was fantastic. I hope yours was equally as good. We're coming to you live from Twitch as well as on YouTube. If you don't know about the YouTube stuff and you prefer YouTube, head on over to GMRPG Sessions, Great GMRPG Sessions. You can find us there and catch up all of the previous episodes that you missed. We're talking Broken World Chronicles today. Broken World Chronicles, of course, is the tabletop RPG that I run with three amazing players, two of whom are currently, looks like they are offline at the moment. No panic. Half an hour to go before we do the actual show itself, the actual role-playing session. So if you have signed in for that, you've got half an hour. Thank you very much for joining us. I see some names coming in there. For those of you that have just joined us, Eric Eziel is now our moderator. I'm hoping on YouTube as well as everywhere else, Eric has the power. He leveled up recently on the show, so all hail Eric. All hail Eric, the Goblin of Choice. Now, Kariana, if you haven't seen episode 2, yes, I'm afraid it is quite important that you do that if you're going to want to watch episode 3. Spoilers contained herein, because now, before the show, what I like to do is spend half an hour or so with you guys where I talk about what I've got planned to have coming up in the show. So what I am planning for my RPG session now moving forward, and it's going to give you some insight as to how I go about planning. It's going to give you some thoughts perhaps. It's also going to give you guys an opportunity to interact with the show in terms of coming up with some cool ideas. Now, if you don't already know, I'm just going to have a pop and have a look over here at the number of people. We've got people coming in on YouTube, which is fantastic, and we've got lots of people there on Twitch as well. So to all of you, that's great. We are slightly earlier than usual, although this is now our official time, 5:30, for those of you that want to have a look at them. Drop a mountain on them, says Raven Nyan. No, I don't think we're going to drop a mountain on them just yet, although you say that. Now, let's move straight into what I plan for today's session, and that is kind of tricky. I hope YouTube isn't breaking for anybody else. You say it's breaking? That's unfortunate. Give me some feedback on that when you can. If you are watching the YouTube show, let me know, please. I would greatly appreciate that. And just in case it is, I'm going to start recording as well, so that I have a backup copy of that. Okay, Extra Nerdy, I see you've joined us on Twitch. Thank you. Nice to see you here. Okay, so Broken World Chronicles. How are we going to be doing, or what are we going to be doing today? So, last week our characters were in the difficult situation of moving across the swamp to try and get to the city of Feldun. Now, the challenge that they had, of course, was that they came across this group of refugees in the middle of the swamp in the Temple of Elysiae, and basically decided to help them get across the swamp to the city of Feldun, where they're hopefully going to get relief support for the city, for the castle anyway, of the Tange Castle, which is under siege by the Clack Clack Door. They were attacked by bandits, and at the very end of last week's episode, the party made some interesting choices. There was the outrageous notice, the outrageous I don't want to say behavior, but Warren definitely lost his temper and executed the bandit captain, leaving the group almost in two minds, I suppose you could say. Where they're going to go from here. Now, last week I had tried to plan, or I had tried, of course, to get the party to the next world that they're going to be jumping to. That's what I had tried. I did not succeed. There was just not enough time to get them to where I wanted them to go. That's not a problem, however. We can certainly move forward from there in today's session. Where are we going, though? And that's where the interesting challenge lies for me as the game master. we've established that the characters need to get to Feldun, and I know exactly what's going to be happening when they get there. We've got this whole thing plotted and planned out. And if you aren't following, you can head on over to World Anvil, which I realized I don't have open yet, because that's what happens when you are planning and trying out new things, such as broadcasting live to Twitch. So to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time, so you can watch on either of them. Now, if you head on over, my camera's in the way of my tag here for the Broken World Chronicles. Anyway, if you head on over to World Anvil, you can actually follow along in terms of the campaign by signing up and then following the Broken World Chronicles. You can actually go in and see all of the plans and plots and missions and events and things that we have got planned for our sessions. So in that, I had planned on just introducing the character to certain things, getting them into the space of realizing that the Clack Clack Door are incredibly dangerous, incredibly powerful beings. And I think that we are there. I want some more to happen, and I'm going to bring up that page now so that you can have a look at it. My computer is struggling. I'm trying to get it to do too many things. So I'm going to bring that up now, and you can have a look at it. There is the episode 1, the Clack Clack Door template behind me. And in that, you can see that the objective was to bring the party together. The theme is sticking together is the only way to win. So when Warren went off on his own, he started to get attacked, which was a thing. It's part of the Master Plot series. What do we expect? Combat, sneaking, running, fear, and terror. Well, we've had combat. We haven't really had sneaking yet, and I am going to bring that in this episode. So watch out for that. Running, fear, and terror. Now, what must the players learn? The players must learn how to use the rough stones. Those are the stones that allow them to teleport out of this world, out of this dimension, and into another one. And that's the problem that I'm going to be having, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Now, the Clack Clack Door are dangerous. I think they have learned that. Certainly, Flint had the unfortunate experience of missing twice whilst attacking them. I don't think that they are yet completely aware of the power of the Clack Clack Door. So, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do in this next episode on that point, and then the main purpose of the Clack Clack Door Hive. Now that I have not yet covered, and let me tell you, I'm going to be using one of our Patreon submissions. Now, if you are a patron of the Broken World Chronicles, you can submit NPCs and you can actually submit broken worlds where our characters might end up going. So if you are not aware of that, look down below in terms of Twitch. There's a button on how to join Broken World Chronicles Patreon. If you are on YouTube, it's just simply patreon.com/broken worlds. You can submit your own. Now, we have had some amazing worlds sent through so far, and we've had some great NPCs sent through. What I particularly like is that in the NPC option, you can submit an NPC for the party, or you can submit an NPC against the party. So far, everyone has submitted NPCs for the party, which I find quite amusing. So there we are. Also, if you are a patron of the Great GM channel, this month only you will have got your Patreon newsletter, and in that newsletter you should have also got the submission forms that you can send through your own NPCs to try and help the party as well. So let's see what's coming through. So I have an NPC that was submitted. I very much like the idea of the NPC. That NPC is a specialist, if you like, in terms of the Clack Clack Door. So the party's going to encounter him so he can give them some information. We've had them experiencing stuff now it's time to give them just some straight up information. Act 1 is done, Act 2 is done, Act 3 is the false ending. The trio find the bandits and make it to Feldun. Sorry, the trio finish the bandits. They have finished the bandits. Now they need to make it to Feldun, where they are just in time to watch the Clack Clack Door demolish the city. Probably. So we're going to see now. When I said that I've got some things that are going to come back to in terms of this whole thing, we're going to come back to the idea that the Clack Clack Door are dangerous. So I am going to have an encounter, I think, with the players where they meet the Clack Clack Door again and must defeat them in a battle. So we can get to see how powerful these creatures are. And then this massive spider-like monster, I've actually created that monster, and you will see it's a pretty terrifying beast. very, very powerful thing, and they don't really necessarily want to come into contact with that. They are talking to the various NPCs and things. So what my plan is that we're going to get to Feldun. They're going to use the rough stones, I hope, to get out of that situation. That then necessitates the biggest challenge that I personally, as the GM, and this is something that I'm particularly looking forward to, I'm going to have in terms of this game, is that I am now in the I don't want to say unfortunate position, but I'm now in the position where I have a random world the characters are now going to step into. So how do I plan adventures for that? So that's what I've got to check. That's what I've got to try and overcome. That's what I've got to try and figure out. And so that's something that we've got to look at. We've got to figure out now how do we adapt? How do we adjust for a completely unknown world? So every world that gets submitted to us gets added to the list of worlds that we already have. And when the characters initiate the rough stones, when they initiate that dimensional portal, they're going to step through it. And more importantly, they step into a random world. We're going to roll in Fantasy Grounds. We're going to just roll randomly and see where they end up. Now, I think that is exceptionally fun. It means that we are going anywhere. It's a lot of cool opportunities and things, I think, for the characters to also kind of not really know where they're going. From my perspective, I have to leave my planning a little bit more nebulous in terms of how I want things to happen, because I need to adjust to the world. So one of the worlds that have been sort of postulated is a future type of environment where the characters step into Braxia 500 or 600 years into the future. I think that's going to definitely be an interesting thing that we can do in terms of, okay, how do we now suddenly on the fly come up with this stuff? So we're going to roll back. We're going to go back to the things that I talk about in terms of what are our expectations. So as the players step through the stones, if we're in mid-session, which is definitely where we're going to be, I guarantee that's going to happen. If we're in mid-session, we are going to then have to go, okay, cool, right, ad-lib, make up as we go. If we get to those jumps at the end of a session, what a relief for me. It gives me a week to then plan and come up and develop stuff. So what I have done, and you'll notice this in today's game probably, because you never really know, right? I've created some generic battle maps so that I can throw in some random combats and things. That's not to say that I'm delaying getting to the point where they use the rough stones right at the end of the session. For me, that would be cheating to a certain degree. Not that this is a competition and not that there is anything to cheat against, but if they jump, they jump, and I don't want to have to kind of delay them. So I've made some generic battle maps using Dungeon Fog. Dungeon Fog is one of our sponsors. We are finalizing layouts and stuff, so you'll see their logo starting to pop up from next week. So big thank you to them in terms of sponsoring the tech to be able to do these wonderful maps. So I've made some generic maps. I've got some NPCs handy and on the fly. So wherever they go is wherever we're going to go. And I think that's an important thing. We need to remain agile and flexible and play on those expectations. Where they're going to jump today, I don't know. We've got a 1 in 50 chance of them going to any one of the worlds that have been pre-generated. It's going to be an interesting experience, I think. Watch out for how that plays out. Now, I have created the Clack Clack Door spider, trench spider, which is not a small creature at all. It's about 30 or 40 foot in width. It stands 60 foot above the tower. It's not as big as the one that was attacking the castle at Tungay Keep, because to create a map like that, it becomes a map when it is 300 foot in length and you're suddenly out of range of a lot of spells and things. So there's a lot that can potentially happen in today's show. I see that we've got some people joining in. I am trying to, and I apologize for this, I should have sort of done more promotion, I suppose, of saying that we're going to start half an hour earlier and just keep it there. I see some comments coming through. Can we kill off Warren? He's so annoying. I had to stop watching. We don't want to kill off Warren. We want to watch Warren grow. And I generally believe that's the character arc that Freddie is going to be taking on. So you will get an opportunity to chat to the cast after the show, very briefly, because for some of them it's quite late. But when we do chat to them, let's talk about their character arcs that they're thinking about, where they're going to go, what they're going to do. Pikmin Biomaster, again, I just have to say thank you for your bits. You are very kind. And so when we have these kind of characters, and it's going to be interesting to look at how does Warren grow, because you've got Warren, who is this naive, plucky teenager. He really is a teenager, and with that comes all of those things. Now, obviously, as a player, something that he has to be very aware of is that there is that potential for the annoying factor. So how is he going to get it to the point where we want to actually engage with Warren? What is he going to do? He's going to have to show himself. We've got Kai's character, obviously, who's also going to be playing that more motherly role. We've already seen her kind of playing peacemaker, although she did quite quickly revert to just using the suggestion spell straight away to try and calm Warren down. And then you've got that extremely cold and impassive, but also slightly unstuck Ironforge, or Warforged, Ironborn, they call themselves, the Warforged, who is an interesting antagonistic force. He's got a certain logic to him. There's a certain amount of understanding, and then it kind of all falls down and falls apart. I'm not sure. It's a curious space that one finds oneself in with them. So the party, if you look at it, they've only really been playing for one session together. And although we did a session 0, which was a lot of fun, they kind of got to see things from different points of view, there is still a newness to the whole situation. There's that player character. I'm learning this, I'm doing that. A lot of development's gone into the characters, but you never know until you get there. So you kind of have to learn and adapt as you go, I suppose, and learn who the character is and fit into that space. So, and when you watch a television series, you often see that the first season is sometimes a little bit awkward, because again, the actors and everybody else is kind of getting together and figuring out how things work. So if you have not been part of a show like this before, the way that it works is that we are going to run the show on the hour. So in about 12 minutes or so, it will run for an hour. And then we take a little bit of a break where we kind of get coffee and that kind of stuff, so it's not so crazy. And then we play for a second hour. Then there's a brief moment where you get to chat to the cast and the crew. And during that break, you can also chat to them if they are around. Then we have a second hour. And then that's the end of the role playing. After that, we go into chatting with the cast and crew for a bit. And then I do my wrap up where I'm like, well, my plan was to get them to Feldune and then get them to jump. When they jump, the only objective that I have for the second mission that they're going to go into, if you think about it, the second adventure, will be the discovery of this NPC who's going to help them understand the clack clack door a little bit better. Now, I have been throwing out hints to the cast about something that could be used in the future, but none of them have commented on it. And I don't know if that's because maybe for them it's not something that's new information yet. They don't yet know the true threat that the clack clack door possess or pose to the worlds that they're going in. I have mentioned it at least to my thinking at least twice, possibly 3 times. None of them kind of commented on it, and we'll see if it's going to come back later on. So if any of you think you know about what it was that I was talking about, just keep it to yourself, and let's see if you can have figured it out or not. Another challenge that one has whenever you're running these kind of games, and I think it doesn't matter whether it's online or whether it's around an actual table itself, is you have that risk of you throwing out stuff for the players and them not picking up on it, or they kind of pick up on it but it doesn't register as something that's worthwhile adding to their collective knowledge, and then they move on. So how many times do you throw it at them? Well, I don't know, we'll see, we shall see. It's going to be exciting one way or another. I'm going to take a sip of this quickly. We are live. I'm going to go to chat now just to see if there's anything in there. A suggestion from one of our Twitch viewers, Raven9. Warren gets stuck in a world and ages 20 years. I don't know if that would help, really. If you take a teenager and you drop them into the future in 20 years' time, I think they're probably still going to just be who they are, just slightly older. It could be quite fun to see. We've certainly seen an old version of him, and yes, 2 different old versions of him, as a matter of fact. So we kind of know that he survives, hopefully, or at least those incarnations of him survive. So yes, it's going to be interesting. You know, when you talk about time dilation, I see there's some other chat talking about it, where you age dramatically between portals and things. That's one of the biggest problems with science fiction, is time dilation on the planets. We saw it happening in that, of course now the name of it's gone straight out of my head, but Interstellar, we saw time dilation taking effect, where time is different on the planet as opposed to in space. We ignore that for almost every other science fiction out there because it just makes one's brain hurt for that exact reason. Can you imagine? I do think it could be quite fun though, and I think that they certainly will meet versions of themselves that are older, and I don't know about wiser or not. I think that's part of what makes it so interesting. I'm going to bring up quickly, just so that I make sure that I've got it, because I probably haven't got it loaded up. No, I haven't. I'm just going to bring up that chart of all of the worlds that have been added so far. And I can see that my computer glitches every time I open up more stuff. So I do apologize for that. We will not load up new stuff we'll make sure that doesn't happen again. Let's just do it that way. So these different worlds and things, I think they are, what I like about them is that they're so different so far, and they really are. It really is a challenge to have other people come in and say, okay, what about this world? And you go, oh, how do we incorporate that? How do we include that? It's absolutely lovely. So, wait, where are we now? Dumb face. There we go. Okay, 7 minutes to go before the show starts. I have opened up the wrong file. If you are watching, we will start the role-playing shortly. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. We are live, so if you have any questions in terms of what I plan on doing or how I'm planning on going about something, please go for it. Give us an ask. I see on YouTube Yuri Guimare, I'm not sure how one pronounces that. I'm DMing a table to my friends and I'm thinking to kill 2 of their background NPCs in the destruction of a city because of the war between the 2 countries. So do I kill? Well, I think if you've had enough time for your players to invest, then yes, go for it. If your players are invested in those NPCs and it's going to lead to more adventures, then yes, that is definitely something that I would do, Yuri. I would just make sure that the players' characters are aware of it and that they know that it's coming up. If you look at today's game, for example, I'm not going to be killing off anybody. Maybe some of those villages and things that they have encountered so far, because, well, no one cares. But in terms of anyone else, no, not yet, not ready. It's all about building investment. The characters have got to invest in the NPCs first, because otherwise it's basically just like killing off a tree. No one cares, and there isn't there. So a question from a pendant: is there a mechanism to keep the players from just warping away from any conflict? Well, yes and no. So the mechanism is that the stones take, and I don't want to lie now because I did write this up. It is there somewhere. If you head on over to World Anvil, the stones take 1d6 rounds to initiate. So once the stone's been put on the floor, we roll 1d6. So 6 rounds of combat is quite a long period of time to have to stay near those stones. Because remember, if they move away from the area where the stones have been created, where the portal's been created, they can't go through it. It's not like they get sucked through it. So yes, there is definitely a mechanism. They could be lucky and roll a 1. In which case then they vanish through. It brings to mind the spell Blink, which I think is a very interesting mechanic. Characters blink into existence and then they blink out if they roll a certain number. In this case, the stones definitely create a portal. It's just how long they take. So there's an answer to that question. in terms of that. They also have to get stones, and at the moment they don't know where the stones come from or how to get more. So that's going to be an interesting one that they're going to have to solve. How do they get more stones once they've used up the ones that they have been given so far? So there's another mechanism whereby if they don't have enough stones, they just can't jump. I am toying with the idea, and again, I'm not too convinced because there's no mechanism for linking the planes together. There's no mechanism for controlling how the characters move from one plane to the other yet. They've got the book, which has given them an address for one zone, the zone that they're currently in. We need to get a better system for them to move around planes, because what I was thinking was, if they don't have 6 stones, if they've only got 4 stones, maybe it only creates a portal big enough for one character to move through. In which case, then there's that option of sending one character dramatically through, the portal closes down, and then the party's split. It's not just split in different rooms in a dungeon, they literally split in different dimensions. Bringing them back together again is too much of a headache for me to allow the mechanic to work just yet. There's no rule saying that I can't introduce it later, I just have to have it in the back of my mind, so that if they do try and do something like that, we can do that. But the idea that they get split across dimensions is just absolutely insane. I don't think it's something that we're going to do just yet. Anyway, so yeah, who knows? I'm just going to double check. We are using Fantasy Grounds as our platform of play. If this is also your first time here, although I think I recognize most people that I've seen in chat, if this is your first time, once the game starts, we don't look at the chat. It's just too disruptive for me. As you know, I can get derailed almost instantaneously. So we don't look at the chat, so don't think that we are ignoring you. It's just that we're not looking at the chat, which I suppose is the same thing, really, whilst we run through the game. But after an hour, we definitely will look at the chat, and so don't be afraid. We know that you're there. We do love having you with us. It is easy to distract, and Raven9, you are good at it. I'm just reading a comment here on Twitch from Raven9. Yes, if you don't know, just very, very quickly, there is another show that I do on Friday nights. It's called Live Sessions with the GM. That's me, where it's a 2-hour show, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's streamed live here on Twitch and on YouTube, on the How to Be a Great GM channel. You can join me there, where I'm answering questions, we're doing creative writing exercises, we're developing games, we're talking your games. It's just a free-for-all where we hang out, chat, and have a good time. So if you didn't know about that, you can join us there. One question is that I have for you now, and you can vote for this, is if you are on the YouTube channel, would you prefer it if we just amalgamated everything into the How to Be a Great GM channel, or if we kept them separate? It's a question that we've been debating for a long time, and we'd love your feedback, so let us know if you please. That would be great. Right, 1 minute to go. I need to go and put on my game face. Okay, that was easy, and then we can start playing. I've got all of these windows open. I've got 3 screens up. I need more. I need more screens. Anyway, I can see all of my players are there. Hopefully you can't hear them, and only I can when I put my little earpiece in here. Poor old Freddie has got flu. I had it and struggled through. As you know, I had to delay the show, as a matter of fact, by a week because of it. I do hate that when it gets in the way. Anyway, it is time for us to go and start playing in Broken Worlds. Here we go. Possibly, hopefully. As Michael pointed out, by running things on Twitch and on YouTube, I can break and fail technologically on 2 platforms live now. Anyway, okay, let's see. Let's go into it, and hopefully, welcome to the Broken Worlds. Hello everybody, and welcome to today's show. I've got everyone with me, and a giant something's gone wrong. What? What did break? It did done broke. It broke everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, of course it's now all broken. I wonder what's what's gone wrong. Gallery view. No, it was my Zoom that decided to go mad. Anyway, of course I failed the tech check. Why wouldn't I? I mean, it's only a live show. Could I ask? Yes. So let me just. Yes, absolutely everything is broken. And I'm going to do that and do that. You're going to get... Oops, wrong person. Bingo, there we go. I think that's a little bit better in terms of size. And... oh, there's my coughing going. Now, where? I haven't coughed all day, and now all of a sudden I have. Give me a second. Freddy's opaque. He is. Freddy, are you opaque? How is the audio, everybody? Please let us know what the audio is like for you all. You can't hear them. A silent spell has been cast in the party. Why can't you hear them? Players can't hear PCs. I don't understand. Okay, give me a second here. It was all working last week. Now it's all broken again. Okay. Well, this is an interesting challenge. I will just do this then, and I'll talk to you all shortly.
I will talk for you.
Okay, hopefully we're back, and hopefully you can hear them. I'm overextending here. Is that working yet? No.
Should we talk so they know if the characters are talking?
Hello.
There we go.
How are we doing? Yay.
Perception roll for hearing voices 10.
Oh.
Okay. So now is it working? Now you can hear. Now talk about.
Apparently they can hear an echo.
Just keep talking, Michael. Tell us about your day.
Oh,
Well, my
Firewolf
day.
says it's fixed.
Oh, it's fixed. Okay, never mind. Well,
I'm watching Twitch to find out what's happening.
I was going to tell people about my day, but you know what? Fine. It's okay.
No
What
one
do I
gives
care?
a shit.
Yeah, well, my day started off badly. Echo says Pikmin Biomaster on Twitch. Why would there be an echo, he asked. It's
Grizzle
fixed now.
says it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone... there we go. Great. You see, Michael, you said that I was going to screw up on 2 platforms live
I was
at
just
once.
setting out.
and
I was
it
just setting out
couldn't have got worse.
expectations. That's it.
Come on, Michael. Way to jinx him.
You know, absolutely. And you know what the saddest part was? It broke because I was playing a stupid computer game that required me to... anyway. All right. It's all good now. I think we need to start that again. Because...
Oh, so round 2 intro.
round 2 intro. So
Yeah. I love the intro. Flint looks awesome.
here we
I love
go.
Flint.
Oh dear God.
I like that my leg's so high up in that kick.
Yeah. Here we go. Round 2 intro. Hopefully this works. Okay, now hello and welcome to the Broken World Chronicles, where you can hear everybody, hopefully. We last week were in the middle of the swamps of around the temple of Elysiae, and our heroes had just defeated the bandits, if you recall. How is everybody looking here? Freddy, I can see right through you. So I'm going to tweak you just slightly because it's not a good look.
It doesn't look like that on my side.
Yeah, you should see yourself. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so carrying on, the 3 of you, how are you doing? Firstly, welcome to the show. Michael from the Dead Aussie Gamer.
Hey, Yoan, yeah, no, I'm doing good. I can't wait to get back into Flint. Left on quite a dramatic moment, and I'm like, before the show, I've just been pumping myself up to get all over angry at Warren again, so I'm ready to go. Damn, kid.
Kai, how are you doing? Are you back on Twitch yet? Are you streaming yet?
No, I don't have a second monitor to do Twitch right now. I need to get one.
Gotcha. Well, we're glad to have you on our show anyway. Thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine now that the show's happening. Freddie, you have man flu, Freddie. I'm glad that you're alive. I don't see any doctors hovering around with IVs and that sort of thing. So you're okay?
No, I'm good. I've got a much stronger constitution, just like my boy Warren. I'm gonna try to do his voice best I can today, but he may go back and forth between being a child and then hitting puberty like a dinner bell.
I think he certainly puberty has hit. Yes. Anyway, all right, perfect.
I learned my lesson, guys.
Absolutely, Freddie. You've got a couple of shows that you are involved in.
Oh, I do. I stream on Tuesdays. We've been streaming Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's been a blast having everybody just come on in and just relaxing, chilling out. But then with the excitement near the end of our first campaign of Joy Quest, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, we are pretty close and we're very excited. And actually, this is a good point. I'm glad you reminded me, Guy. We are no longer taking any more new Patreon NPC names for this campaign. You will have your name in the campaign for the next campaign, because that time period is over. But still, be excited. It's going to be really fun.
That's super
Let's
cool.
get out.
Super cool. All right, so without any more delays, let's get on with it. Warren, you are standing facing off against Flint over the dead body of the bandit. Feloria, you were attempting to cast your magic spell of suggestion to calm the young Warren down. It failed miserably. Over to you.
Listen, I know that right now these people here are in all manner of trouble, and we can't, by any right, start making reckless actions like this. If this man were only just one of many bandits still waiting in these woods, We've just rang the dinner bell and said, here we are. A whole bunch of people now weakened by these bandits. At least if he was alive, he could serve as some form of leverage. Ain't good to his dead.
I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you keep yelling at me. I did my job. I did my right. I protected these people.
Warren, we're not questioning whether or not you...
No!
He walks away. He's going to the front of the brigade. He's gonna keep guard. He's had enough.
That boy needs some grease on his gyros.
Let me have a talk to him. It might be better to not have someone yelling at you, because I'd be a little apprehensive to talk to someone yelling at me. And I think you need to calm down as well. Let cool heads rule here.
You're probably right. All right, let me go clean up these bodies, I guess. And Flint's gonna go and drag the dead body of the leader into the mud and try and coax this large gator off one of the wagons. All right.
So I can't hear
Come
you.
on, fella. Come on. Come on, down you get. Come on. Come on.
It lies on top of the wagon. It's busy chewing some of the wood in its maw. Crocodiles don't have any tongues though, so it's having a difficult time doing it. It's not rotting meat, so it sort of snaps around. It looks at you. How are you trying to get this crocodile off? Are you just sort of shooing it?
I'm literally just sort of shooing this massive crocodile. I mean, I'm also trying, I guess, to, if there's like a large enough bit of wood that's like jammed into its jaw, I might grab onto it and sort of just give it a bit of a tug, not try to pull it out of its mouth, but try to just leverage it to encourage it to walk forward off the wagon.
All right, that's what you're doing. Warren, you've got to the front of the column. Well, it's not a column. People have clustered together around the sleeping bandits. They are, well, the unconscious bandits anyway. And as you come marching sort of towards them, they look at you. And then they look at Feloria behind you. What should we do with the bandits?
I would leave them off to the side of the road and keep going. They're running out of time.
Right. I suppose.
They'll wake up in an hour or so.
They start to deal with the bandits. Feloria, you catch up with Warren, unless you were running, Warren. Feloria, you catch up with Warren.
All right. Hey, you okay?
I don't want to talk. I'm gonna stay on guard.
Do you not want to talk because you're angry or you think I'm going to yell at you?
Both.
I'm not going to yell at you, Warren. I'm actually here to offer some advice from someone who made an honest, horrible mistake to another person who I don't want to regret making mistakes. Okay? Why I think Flint is so angry is because you didn't kill him out of justice. You killed him out of anger. And we made the choice to show mercy, and you took that into your own hands. When you attack out of anger, it's more vengeance than justice. We can still do great things. We can still bring justice upon him by bringing him to people and giving him a fair trial. But when you bring it into your own hands, that's not justice, that's vengeance.
I don't care who you are or what you stand for, but if that means you're gonna hurt a kid, I have no patience for that.
I understand.
You see how those bandits attacked other people? You saw how they were willing to take those kids as hostages.
Hostages. But he didn't kill them. He deserved punishment. I'm not saying he didn't. He deserved punishment. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying, was death the right punishment? And if so, did you have to be an executioner? Can you live with those choices?
I have to learn to. This is a test that Delo put me on, and I'm gonna persevere.
Okay. If you're okay with making those types of decisions and being the executioner, I will stand by you. I just don't want you to wake up 10 years from now and regret that choice and what you become doing so. Okay?
I'm tired. I gotta stay on watch. I need to be alone.
Okay. But if you want to talk, I am here. Let's keep moving, get these people somewhere safe, all right, sweetheart? Do you want a hug?
No,
Are you sure?
I don't think that'll be good. I think I'm gonna throw up now. I feel
Okay, come here. I'm just gonna keep a hand on top of his forehead and just rub his hair. And I know. Okay, let it out. Okay.
Perception checks from everybody, please, as this is unfolding at the front of the column. Everyone else is like, just move the bandits over here. Oh, natural one from Floria. Well, absolutely. Your focus is on poor old Warren. Warren, you are
on my shoes.
Yeah, on my shoes and pants. Wow, you hit everything. Look at that. Warren, you are busy. Well, you're busy. Flint, as you are pulling this crocodile, who has decided that this is a rather amusing game. And so you drag it 3 feet, and then its sort of horrid claws dig down into the mud, and then it just pulls you back 3 feet. So there's this sort of tug of war going on. As you're doing that, though, you hear shouts from several of the villagers, and they're pointing upwards. And flying overhead, high overhead, probably 400, 500, 600 feet above you, you can see there is this squadron of about six or seven of those insectoid-like creatures that attacked you in the castle. They're busy flying directly overhead in the direction of Feldoon itself. Quite quickly, their 4 wings busy beating frantically as they make their way across the sky.
Does it look like they've noticed us?
They don't seem as if they have at all. They're flying in a fairly straight line, directly across the sky.
Who's the nearest villager near me?
The nearest villager, there's the old man. He is busy.
Anther?
Yes.
I'll tell. I mean, assuming it's like a full squadron, I'd go over to Anther and say, all right, what I need you to do now is I need you to get everyone to remain as quiet and as still as possible. We've got some trouble overhead, and I just don't want to draw any attention to us. Remember, keep it down and make sure no one shouts out. Use this if you have to. And I sort of take the mace from the bandit leader,
right,
and give it to the old man.
Okay.
One on the head.
Not a problem. He looks at it. We won't stand a chance against those creatures. The clack door are formidable warriors. Bandits maybe, but them there's no chance.
Well, no. That's why we got to keep quiet. That there is for anyone who's trying to make noise. You whack them straight on the head.
Meanwhile, I hear.
Yes. I don't know if I could.
Just do what you can. Just do what you can. I've got to keep an eye out. All right.
Yes.
Stay strong.
Yes.
Keep everyone down. Keep everyone quiet. And tell Philoria to keep an eye on the sky as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I got this gator and I got these things.
It's in the mud. It's busy looking at you with the piece of wood in its mouth. It could be your imagination, but its tail looks like it's wagging from side to side as it seems to be waiting for you to grab the wooden plank again.
I'll grab it again.
All right, and then there's this toing and froing going on as that happens. Philoria, you're with Warren. Anther comes rushing up to you. I'm awfully sorry to interrupt this.
Not at all. What's up?
He points at the retreating forms of the 7 creatures busy flying towards Feldoon. The Iron Man has asked that we all be quiet and vigilant and to try and make our way as fast as we can. Are you going to be all right? he says, looking at you, Warren.
Mm-hmm. I have a job to do. Let's go.
Yeah.
How far are we from the city?
Well, we've still got about 5 miles of swamp, and then there's at least a mile of forest, so probably a good couple hours, I would say. He sort of says, looking back, we had a few injured with the bandit attack, but we should be all right to move.
We have the wagon. Put them in the wagon. We need to move as fast as we can.
The wagon will actually slow them down, I'm afraid. It's too slow going in all of this mud and muck, he sort of says, looking at the muddy swamp.
What happened to the fawn?
The satyr is still around.
Yeah,
He's
let's
sort
get
of
him and he can help us lead us as fast as we can.
And just to clarify as well, before we go too far ahead,
Yeah.
it is currently past the point where we'd originally intended to rest. So we are going into late night. How is the fatigue of the villagers looking at this point?
Everybody is tired. Obviously, there was a bandit attack. They're covered in mud and blood. But there is a certain... on most of them anyway, there's a resolute look of we will do this, we will move. Maybe it's resolute, maybe it's just they've given in to despair and they will just carry on walking because that's what they've been told to do.
Okay.
There is a voice. Do you honestly think that there is any point in us continuing?
Oh my god, he's still standing.
Yeah.
Yes! Hate that guy.
Very well, I suppose, since we're here now. And he starts to move with the rest of the group, saying, you heard him. Get going. Probably all going to die anyway. There's a swing, a thud, and again, Anthar misses with the mace because he's been trying to hit Vanderdark with the mace. But he's not very good at it at all. He really doesn't know how to do it. You can see he's not a fighter. He's a groundsman. He's a curator. That's it.
Everybody, let's go!
I love that old man.
For the next hour and a half, you trudge wearily through the swamp. It's tough going, although with the satyr helping, he seems to be slightly changed. A little bit more cooperative. He leads the party in a very smart route through the swamp. Every now and again, no, that is not good. This way. As he leads you over more steady ground. And as a result, the group moves quite quickly. The forest line is very obvious. It draws a very thick, dark mark across the horizon. It is now late afternoon as you're approaching. There is a curious orange glow beyond that forest line, however. And it seems to be intermittently bright in sort of different patches. But it's too dark and too difficult to see now what's going on.
Like fire?
It could be, but then it would stretch across the horizon.
Okay.
So it does seem to be significant, whatever it is. This is the forest of Eldoon. From here, it is a simple process to get through.
Okay.
We should be cautious, however. That does not look like a good sign. Perhaps you should withdraw, he says, looking at the three of you.
We need to get there. If it's on fire, we might be able to find survivors and bring them back to the main castle keep. The Duke's still waiting for us.
It is unlikely that the Duke has survived. We saw the tower fall before we left the temple.
That was an outside turret. There's still the inner chambers. There is a possibility.
We have to have these people rest, though. We have to make sure they're taken care of first. We don't have that much time.
Flint kind of takes a moment to go through all of his thoughts, realizing that the fort, having lost the outer tower, the amount of time it's taken to get here, along with the fact that we have in tow a bunch of refugees, he turns and says to the Fawn, Warren's right. Right now, we can't spend as much time thinking about dividing our attention between trying to get reinforcements back and whether or not the Duke survived and trying to get these folk to safety. Right now, they're our primary concern, and getting them to somewhere safe is our number one priority. I recommend that myself, Filori, and Warren, we maybe move a little bit further ahead from the wagon, and you bring them up slowly behind. If there's any trouble ahead, we'll come back and, I don't know, I guess we'll have to make some other arrangements.
Wait, we're leaving the group?
That giant light up there might be a fire, as Philor says, and if I'm being honest, looking at those clack door up in the sky, they seem to be heading in the direction of Feldun. That don't bode well no matter how you spell it. And the last thing we want to do is drag these folks straight into the middle of a hot mess.
Well,
Just turns around. Just
will you all be okay? Can you hide yourselves?
I, for one, says Vanderak, as you ask that question, there's another swing and a miss, believe that we are doomed whether we travel with you or whether we stay here. Would you stop trying to hit me, Anthar? He says as he turns to the old man. The satyr places his hand tentatively on your shoulder, Warren. Do not be concerned for these ones. They will be fine. We journey now to Feldun. They rest. Come back for them tomorrow, yes?
Okay.
Is the crocodile still following us?
For about half an hour it did, but its little legs had got tired after a while and you didn't want to play stick anymore, so eventually it kind of trailed off and then got sidetracked with a coot or something that it went to go and try and eat, sadly.
Dang it. I was too angst trying to. I was too angst.
I was gonna. No, I mean, I like the idea of this. If we ever come back to this place, we get attacked by a giant crocodile, and it turns out to remember us, and and it's like, it's these guys.
It gets on top of you. You think it's trying to kill you. It just starts licking your face so
Brings you the
excitedly.
stick. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right. Okay, because I was just gonna say otherwise I just tell them to keep the stick close and obviously the crocodile, but that's fine. Okay, just as a quick question,
Yeah.
I don't entirely know how encumbrance works with 5e.
Okay.
Warren, what's your current? How fast is Warren's character? Is Warren in his armor?
30 feet still.
Okay. And Laura, I assume, is the same.
I think I'm 30 or 35.
Yeah.
I'm 35.
Yeah, cool. So we're both 35. Okay, so so yeah, we'll be going at I recommend like half speed just so that we don't fall into any bogs or large pits or anything.
I thought we were out of the marsh and we're into the forest now.
Yeah, you are
Oh,
primarily
also-
out. Yeah. Forest at
Yeah.
night is still not a safe place to go running, but yes, you can.
Yeah,
move
I
yeah.
have
quite through.
dark vision though.
Yeah, for you it's not a problem.
Oh, behind me, suckers! Woo!
Well, there she goes.
I thought I had friend vision.
Okay, so yeah, we'll move at half Warren speed, just making sure like we check the ground for hazards and stuff like that as we go.
I can take up the front.
With Philor taking up the front with her dark vision, while the two blind people
Just hold on to each other. I'll lead you through.
sort of Flint looks at Warren and is like,
I can put on a light. Do we need a light?
oh,
I
yes.
wouldn't. That might lead attraction, don't you think?
But they can't see. There's a. Oh wait, it's just us, isn't it? I forgot again.
It
Yeah.
is just the three of you with the satyr, yes.
I'm
gonna,
We must
pull out,
hurry.
like,
It is.
Should we tie this to each other so we don't get lost? Like around the waist?
Just hold my hand, Warren.
Okay.
So I'll take his hand and I'll do what blind people do. So normally what they'll do is they put their right hand on your right shoulder or left shoulder. So you're standing directly behind them and then you just walk.
All right. So you
Okay.
you're following Valoria. Flint, do you have dark vision? Low light vision.
I do not, but I will walk as if I have dark vision. straight into
Branches.
bang, bang.
Where are you going? Just put your hand on shoulder. So I'll go overtake him, let him feel where Warren is, and they're like, okay, hold on to Warren. And away we go. It's like an adventure choo-choo train.
I'll sort of hold on to Warren's hand, like it's kind of like the most intense hand holding scenario.
I feel super awkward about this.
As the three of you Congo line it through the trees, the satyr bounds ahead. Every now and again he turns and he stops. We are moving too slow. Faster, faster. He sort of...
Pick up the pace. So I know where I'm going.
I don't feel comfortable with this. Stay
I
back.
think we might need a light soon.
He starts to hop ahead. Every now and again he comes to sort of a hopping stop and he looks back. Yes, soon. He continues to hop. He gets a couple trees ahead of you and you can see the front of his face starting to light up. The two of you in the forest, although it's quite dark, that orange glow is getting stronger and stronger and stronger until eventually you break out of the majority of the trees and it looks as if there is a farmhouse of some description in front of you. It's ruined, the walls have collapsed over, there's fires everywhere. It really doesn't look like it's in a good space. I will share the map with you now. As you see this is what presents itself to you, this ruined farmhouse. With flame and fire, there's some broken walls around. I'm going to add the three of you quickly to this. There you go. As you approach, the satyr skips ahead and looks quite pleased with himself. Why, you're not sure.
Quick, it's dangerous to skip.
Flint actually for a moment releases Warren's hands and sort of stumbles backwards into the mud as he as visions of his last moments in that barn sort of flash up and the sight of this massive, intimidating ironborn made for battle and war, sort of kicking open the barn door and sort of setting the place on fire, sort of flashes through his head. He takes a moment to sort of compose himself before he actually gets up on his feet. So he just sort of sits there for a bit.
The satyr now has skipped ahead. We use ruins as cover, yes? Fires are raging in various bits and pieces that remains of the farm. Like I said, it is darkened territory. Beyond, in the very far distance, you can see the lights of Feldun. It looks more like fires of Feldun. This place doesn't look to be in any better situation than Tungay Keep. There is the sounds of battle slowly and quietly drifting across the fields. You need to get to Feldun, yes? This is the fastest way, he says, hopping ahead. Flint, what are you doing? Apart from having these visions of being attacked in the barn.
Flashbacks. Flint will sort of stand up, sort of wipe the mud off his duster, and I suppose we should be following this fella. If he says we should stay in cover, then that's probably what we should do.
I have a very sneaky feeling he's leading us into a trap.
Well, that means we need to go forward anyway. We can get over it.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna draw my bow and move slowly. I'm still very injured from the last fight too.
You are indeed, yes.
I got crit.
I'll take a moment to look at Lore and basically say, I'm sure we'll be fine, but don't worry, I've got your back. And I'll use my bonus action to give temporary hit points through my battle mastery thing to lore.
Nice.
Hang on. How long does that last for?
Excellent question.
That's a good question.
Give me a second. It says rally. Once on your turn, you can use a bonus action to give them a bolstering resolve. When you do so, choose a friendly creature you can see or hear that can gain temporary hit points equal to the superiority dice plus my charisma. That's it. That's all I got. In terms of duration, I don't see a duration. Most of the stuff is instantaneous, but yeah.
I feel like there should be. Okay, well, honestly, I would hold off on that because I can help her out real fast, just with something quick and easy. That way you can hold on your superiority dice. Yeah.
Sure. Just
good. And I'm gonna, with my celestial warlock super duper powers, I'm gonna heal her for 2d6 of
Nice.
Of Delu goodness. There you go.
Ooh, nice.
11
Oh,
back.
I'm liking that.
Now
How
I'm
do I
all
add-
out of that.
How do I add HP points?
I've done it for you to the tracker anyway, so you're back on 3.
Nice.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what's happening.
I feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
I look over, I'm like, thanks, Warren.
So that's pretty much all I did on my turn was just
Gotcha.
say that. And
Follow, he says as he continues to skip down Old Farm.
He sounds too merry. Kill him.
So you're following along with him?
Yeah, I'll follow him. But I'm gonna have my bow out and ready.
Sure.
Because like I'm expecting something to go wrong.
I was thinking about like just trying to take the lead as much as possible, like right behind the satyr.
Right?
So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's hopping forward. He turns and looks at you. What you do at Faldoon?
I don't know. We're just trying to, oh gosh. I mean, I think all of us have, like, a quest that we're trying to discover about ourselves, but we're also just trying to do general good. At the moment, our only direction is this duck guy or something, and he said to go this way.
Oh, the Duke. We've been told, I held at the rein, like I've been told to go talk to the lords here to get reinforcements to help back the other town.
He looks from the destroyed town of Faldoon back to you. No help here.
So, I mean, we're just trying to cut through here, right? To Faldoon?
Yes.
That is Faldoon, right?
Feldoon's up ahead, and it looks to be on fire as well.
He continues walking. Do you continue following?
I mean, yeah.
Is
You
there any
got it.
survivors here? Or...
It doesn't look like there's any bodies around here at all, to be honest with you. They quite literally, it looks as if the town was hit probably this morning or maybe yesterday by the wreckage, the relatively fresh wreckage. But you don't see any bodies, no.
So either the people are hiding within Faldoon or they might have been eaten if there's no bodies.
All of you, please give me an insight check.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Okay. The satyr comes to a stop and he looks genuinely sad. My people must survive. You are strangers, yes?
Uh-huh.
Forgiveness, I request.
I'll draw my musket at this point.
Warning I give you. He does not want you to survive. I don't know why. I'm sorry. He blasts a small blast upon his panpipes. Ha! Who knew? He says as he's holding up the pipes. And as he does so, there is this chittering sound, and bursting around these stone walls is this creature here. It comes rushing around. Let me get down to it quickly. And this creature here, these two Clack Dorian scouts appear through the rubble heading towards you. We're in combat. We are in combat. I'm going to get initiative rolled here for everybody. And we're on the satyr. That takes us to Feloria. What are you doing?
All right. So I would have my bow drawn.
You
so
did,
I'm
yes,
going to
you were
shoot
ready.
him before he can try to summon others.
You're going to shoot the satyr?
Yeah, because he has
Sure.
the pipe. He might keep blowing them and summoning others. So I'm going to shoot at him.
Gotcha. Make your attack. Uh-oh.
It's been it's gone.
Did it work?
That's a hit. Do damage.
Yeah. Die.
I can't believe it. He's gonna betray us all along.
Your arrow penetrates deeply into him. He kind of clips him on the shoulder. He howls out in pain. Are you doing anything else?
I'm going to move up to try to get the pipe out of his hands.
Oh, sure thing. Okay, so you're going to rush up, and next round you're going to try and grab that pipe. Warren?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. There's a lot of people coming. Well, I'm gonna follow Floria's lead and gently bash him.
Gently, gently bash him. All right.
Gently bash him. I'm going to cast a booming blade on him. And I forgot. Do I just roll my attack roll, or do I
You can
place it over the figure again?
Yeah, if you go to your action tab, you can grab your action attack and drop that onto the figure, and it'll automatically attack the
Gotcha.
figure. Yeah. You swing and miss. He sort of ducks aside, his little hooves prancing around, his horns kind of glance the blow of your warhammer. As you have moved right up to him, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Flint.
Dang it!
All right, so I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35. I'm going to move to here.
Right.
And then I'm going to aim my rifle at the satyr, seeing everyone having attacked him, obviously as a traitor to us.
Right.
Flint aims his rifle and says, "Told you I was saving that bullet for you." And I'll just shoot him. Normal shoot. Normal shot. Normal shoot. It doesn't need to be anything special.
You got some special talents for shooting into melee?
Oh, is there a... Okay,
I'm literally right beside him, and so is Warren.
Do we give him disadvantage because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll take the
Engage in melee combat
disadvantage.
with him.
Yeah, I'll take the disadvantage.
Please don't shoot me.
I won't shoot you. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Both hits.
What I say? Flint is the man. Flint, you know, yeah.
Well,
that's it.
considering
Okay,
he's
so,
missed twice before, he's bound to hit once statistically.
Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
All right. That is 13 points of damage.
Oh wow! You blast into him. It clips him on his shoulder blade. He howls out in pain. His blood sprays out. Ah! He shrieks in pain.
And my second action, I'm just going to reload.
Oh, you're gonna reload.
Second action, I'm just going to reload. Yeah.
Got you. All right, this first scout comes rushing forward. You can see that it's wearing this quite... it itself is an insect, and then it seems to be wearing scraps of leather that have been impaled onto the spines that make up its chitinous exoskeleton. So it's a bizarre collection. It only has 2 arms and 2 legs, so it's not a 6-armed insect. But this very long head with these double mandibles in the front, and then these long antennae. And currently it doesn't seem to be wielding anything. It's just rushing forward. And that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Wait, there. So it's actually going to have to double move to get to you, because I don't think its speed is 30 feet. As a matter of fact, as it gets close up to you, Warren, you can see that its tentacles, its antennae are busy waving, and it looks as if there's an electrical spark that's arcing across them. You're not entirely sure what's going on there. This one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, is also rushing forward, but it's going to double move, and it's going to get in as close as it can to you, Warren. It's not doing anything else. There is a terrific trembling sensation that starts to ripple throughout the ground mass. The satyr is standing. He's looking at Warren. He's looking at Falor. No choice, he said. Do it or die. You are strangers. He basically just tries to headbutt you, Freddy. Well, Warren anyway, as he's trying to get out of the situation that he finds himself in. Completely misses because he's been shot and hacked at, and the ground is shaking. He's not very stable on his little hooves. So he is going to. He can't even disengage. He drops to his knees. Mercy, mercy! He's shouting. The ground erupts. Everyone, give me dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh, crap.
Oh, come on. Here we go. Huh.
The satyr drops to the ground. Warren drops down next to him. Faloria's fine. What's going on? I don't understand. Flint is obviously anchored. You've just reloaded your weapon. As you are doing that, the ground behind you explodes as this magnificent creature bursts out of the soil. As you can see, it's easily 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 foot across. It looks like a spider, except that its head is exceptionally elongated and on the segmented neck. And as it bursts out, you can see it's got the same kind of facial structures as the Clack Clack door. Large mandibles open up, and then this dripping wet maw opens inside of those mandibles. And it just lets out this tremendous bellowing, screeching sound that sort of vibrates. Bits of wall fall over because of the sheer pressure that comes out of that. That is what's happening. Floria, what are you doing?
I'm going to, since the seer is dropped, I'm going to grab his loot with one hand and grab Warren with the other.
Sure.
And I'm just going to pull and book it. I'm going to try to pull Warren to his feet and just run.
All right, give me a strength check as you're doing that. The satyr's going to take a
just doing
swipe
everything at
you.
once. Just, oh, shit.
Oh, the satyr hits you. As you're busy running away. No, mine! He tries to keep you from running. Floria, you take 3 points damage as he sort of slashes at you. Your strength check, did you make this strength check? Yes, you did. 6. You grab Warren, you try and run. The satyr bashes you, and you sort of scrabble in the dirt, in the mud, trying to move away, but you are able to only get maybe 5 feet away. Which direction are you heading? North, east, south, west?
The opposite of that thing.
So there's a sort of a general drag like that. Luckily, she doesn't drag you too far. So that's what you're doing, Warren.
Okay, so I'm still close enough to hit the satyr then?
Oh, yeah. You are prone at the moment.
Okay. I am prone? Okay,
Yeah,
so
you were
I'll
not
use
prone.
half my movement to get up.
Sure.
I tried to help, but I didn't roll high enough.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna hit him with a green flame blade, and he's within 5 feet of this other clack, so he should get hit with the fire.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just, man, you just suck. And I'm just gonna just not happy. Things just suck. Come on, get him. There we go.
22 is definitely a hit. Do your damage.
Okay, so the other clack's gonna get hit with 3 fire damage.
Sure.
As this flame hammer slams down on him. Oh,
Gotcha.
actually, I have advantage because he's prone.
Yeah, the satyr is prone, yes.
So just one more time in case I crit. Come
Just
on, baby.
in case you crit.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Well.
17 it is.
So then, do I have the do I have the +2 on this? I do. Good. Here we go.
Oh, man. 6 damage to the satyr. You smack him. Ah! Stop hitting! Ah!
Okay. And then I'll actually I will use my movement 15. 5,
Okay.
10, 15 to be like,
Come on, guys, we gotta get out of here.
Sure, he doesn't have any more reactions, so he can't do anything about that as he watches you. Flint, you're standing there. This mega thing has risen up behind you. It's not as big as the one that was attacking the castle, but it is significantly large.
Flint sort of seeing this thing erupt basically takes a deep breath in and says, "Great Gyro's ghost." He reaches into his pocket and pulls back the stones that we had picked up, the little teleportation stones, and he is going to hurl it at Warren, basically saying, "Warren, get Laura out of here!" And I throw him the bag.
What?
All right, it's not difficult. It's a big enough bag. It's got drawstrings. It's easy enough to catch. What else are you doing?
I'm going to basically take a shot at the satyr again. No, actually, no. I'll take a shot at the big thing. I feel like this satyr's a pain, but he's not a threat.
Right.
So I'm going to take a shot at the big thing, and I'm going to use my maneuvering strike
Yeah.
to give Lore another move action as a bonus, as an immediate action.
Right. Make your attack.
You better come with us. I'm not leaving you.
Well, you make a hold, and I'll walk through it.
You fire.
That ain't good. Hang on, wait. I
You
got to add a
actually
D8 to
didn't.
that.
You well, you're gonna add a D8.
Yes.
Go for it.
to damage.
Oh, no, let me. Oh, is that for damage?
To damage, yeah.
Ah, damn it. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
You actually don't miss it. You hit it, but it's so big that your bullet sort of smashes against it, and you're convinced you can actually see your bullet falling down to the ground, spent, broken, and mushroomed, but having had no effect on this behemoth's armor. Scout number 1 immediately
Do I get
rushes.
to run?
Yes, you do. So, does it still trigger even if you miss your attack?
I don't think so.
Well, if you say I hit, I mean I hit, right? I mean, just saying. No, I'm
Yes,
just
but
joking.
not
It says, yeah, when I hit a creature with a weapon attack, I expend the superiority.
Right, so it doesn't work. The first scout comes hopping in. It doesn't go for you, Faloria. It goes rushing over to the satyr first, and you can see that spark. It seems to vibrate, and then the satyr looks up. Not me, fool! Them! Kill them! He wants them dead. Leave me. That's what he's saying to that one. The second scout goes flitting over after Faloria, jumping and moving past its companion. Faloria's going to make an attack against you. It strikes out and gets a natural 20.
Oh my god, everyone just naturally crits me.
It does, and this is
Happened
bad.
last night.
This is bad.
no.
As
no.
as it hits you, there is this electrical discharge that ripples across its skin, and it hits you for 33 damage.
Dear
Ah! There's this
I'm out.
explosion.
Boom.
You are. What are you? Your regular. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. It slams you flat to the ground as this discharge sort of plays across its armor. The satyr is scrabbling. It jumps to its hooves, and then it moves backwards towards this gigantic thing. Duty done! I'm gone! He shouts as he is doing his best to disengage and just get away from whatever is happening. This gigantic creature is busy moving its colossal legs as it's positioning itself. That large maw looks down directly at you, Flint, and you get a sense that it's going to try and bite you. And it makes its attack against you. This huge maw just comes sliding down. You kind of roll to the side because it's so big. as it misses you completely. You realize that this thing will swallow you in a single bite. It would be very bad to be anywhere near it. Once it has done that, all around it you can see that from its large spined legs, it's starting to release. It looks, well, it looks like little green spores are being released down onto the ground. As they sort of land on the ground, they start to stick to the ground, creating this really strange looking web of some kind. Floria, that is a failure on your first death save. Fantasy Grounds does it automatically. That's a 4.
Oh, does it? I was like, I didn't even roll.
No, I didn't even roll. I have no. Yes, it does it automatically. You can see there.
Great.
A roll of a 4. Warren, what are you doing?
Come on, man.
Warren does not have the brain capacity, so he'll do what Warren does best: get into trouble.
Would Flint be able to make a yell or a exclamation?
On your turn, sure.
Okay.
Literally has no idea how to work those stones, so he's gonna run over and use lay on hands for 1 hit point to bring her back up as my action.
I've got 2 left.
You are no longer unconscious.
And
thank
I'd
God.
like to. Is it possible, like, to push her away to like backwards at all?
Is laying on hands a bonus action?
Oh, it's just like lolling
No, it's an
around.
It's a full action. Yeah, sadly you can't push her very, very far. You can shove a carrot if you wanted to, but
Yeah,
it
no, I
does
mean
take
like
an
just
action.
like 5 feet behind me. That's all. I just want to be like
You want to try and drag her 5 foot behind you, almost to swap
no,
places.
like just kind of like lop her, be like right there if possible.
Over there. Yeah,
Just-
sure. I don't mind if you do that. I don't think that's too much of a problem. The
Cool.
scout is
Because I
not
just
interested in
wanna-
her. It's now interested in you. Anyway.
Yep.
Flint, you seeing this whole thing happen?
Ooh, I tossed the bag. I just let the bag go. I'm like, Floor, you take care of it.
The bag is lying next to Floor, who's busy looking shell-shocked.
I was standing and fine, and then everything went dark, and now I hurt.
Okay, there's so much stuff. Okay, Flint's head is just racing. This thing will eat everyone, and with Law kind of on the ground, but okay. Flint is going to attempt to provoke the tiny clacks. I'm going to take a shot at them and basically start waving my gun around, just being like, "Hey, over here! Come on, you giant insects! I used to swat folk like you with a newspaper."
All right.
And I'm going to with that shot, try a maneuvering strike, to give Warren a move action.
Okay.
To move?
To move, yeah. So I need to make the attack first. So this one is
Yeah.
against. I'm gonna go for the satyr because you know what?
Sure. Make your attack against the satyr. It misses.
Are you kidding me?
Oh no!
The satyr
Why?
ducks and rolls
Already
as he does that.
This gun hasn't worked right ever since I came to this goddamn place.
It does
And
not.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, and instead of reloading, I'm gonna start moving around the rubble. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So I'm gonna move to here.
You're going to move all the way over to there. Okay, the first scout has heard your taunts, and it has failed. So it sees the collapsed Warren. The collapsed Floria, sorry. It sees you, Warren, but it has been taunted. It failed its check. It's going to disengage with you. And that's its action, and then it's going to go 5, 10. It's heading off towards you, Flint. The second one did not, or I should say, is unlikely to. Let's put it that way. And it moves in just to attack you directly, Warren.
Okay.
It swings at you with its large clawed hand, and it misses. It just slams into your shield. You can see that it had energy that it had built up. As it misses you, that energy sort of arcs into the ground. It has no effect. The satyr basically looks at the three of you. I understand why he wanted you, Dad. He says as he then turns and runs 10, 20, 30 and continues running as fast as he possibly can down that way. To the point that he's almost out of sight completely. The gigantic creature is not sure who to attack. Everyone is just busy moving around. So it is going to have to just do a little check here quickly.
Oh, no.
And
It eats the baby clack.
no, it passes his intelligence check. It does, sadly. And so all it's doing is it's just repositioning itself over here, basically. It's moving over towards you,
no.
Flint. You've been making lots of noise and sound and the like. Valoria, what are you doing?
All right, so I'm going to scramble up, like bleeding everywhere. I'm going to grab the pouch,
Right.
and I'm going to run this way, so further away from the clack, but also closer in between the two other characters, so they can make a run.
So you're going to have to disengage first, which you can do, because it's fine. And then you run out to that direction? Sure, not a problem.
Yeah, so I can get this, and then I'm pulling out the book as well to look at that little 6-stone map.
So it's like books and stones. All right, that's what you're doing. Warren?
I'm gonna give her time and attack this guy. 'Cause he's a poop nose.
Greatest paladin
I don't
war
like
cry
Kill the
ever.
satyr, and he's a dick.
You hit the creature. Ah!
Oh,
Thank God.
I mean, thank Delu.
And this is all of my attacks is going to be either booming blade or green flame blade, but in this case it's booming blade. So
If he wants to leave, he's gonna get some thunder.
Make your damage roll 11. Nice. You slam into it. It's not leaving. It now has a new friend to play with. As far as it's concerned, Flint.
Flint, seeing Warren holding off and Valoria moving further away, kind of continues the way he was going and trying to make a whole hell of a hullabaloo. And he looks to the big thing and goes, "Hey, you kiss your engineer with that mouth!" And I'm going to start moving around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So I'm going to move to here.
Sure.
So I assume taunting will take an action, then moving will take an action.
Taunting is just shouting. Unless you
just
are actually
shouting?
using a skill called taunt, in which case that would be great.
No, I'm definitely not using a skill.
You're just
In which
making
case,
noise.
I'm definitely going to take a shot then.
Or reload, because you haven't reloaded yet, remember?
Oh yes, no, very, very true, very true. So yeah, I'm going to reload this turn.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's what you're doing. Scout number one. Has stayed with Warren for some unknown reason. I'm not sure how that happened. Anyway, he's going to attack you, Warren.
Okay.
As is his wont. He tries to hit you. He does hit you. And as he does so, there is that electrical discharge that goes off. You take 17 points of damage.
Ow!
As this energy ripples off of the creature. It's difficult to tell if it's happy or not because its face is all covered in chitin, so it has no facial expressions whatsoever. This one has decided that it's going to move to Valoria, so 5, 10, 15, 20, so it can actually get to you. And its antennae start to illuminate as it did with the satyr before it. And you hear in your head, give me a wisdom saving throw, if you please.
Oh god, no. This is not going well. Oh,
Wow! Oh, the dice just love you. You hear in your head, you will not survive. You will not interfere. That's all it says as it stares down at you, getting ready to attack you. You can see energy rippling. The satyr has made it to the edge of the map, and traditionally whenever that happens, they're no longer a part of the combat. So he has survived. The siege spider just continues to walk. It just walks straight over those ruins. It doesn't even care that there's walls. It just pushes them aside without any care whatsoever. And it looks down at this sort of thing that's happening. It can see the one Clackdoor is chatting to Feloria casually. It sees you there, Flint. All it does is it just tries to pierce you with one of its legs in a rather nasty swiping attack. That completely misses. Bits of shrapnel bury around you as this thing impales itself into the dirt. Feloria, what do you think? You've got the book. There's this thing standing looking at you. Its thoughts are now in your head.
I'm going to glare at it, and then I'm just going to whisper, I'll kill you first. And then I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. What does Dissonant Whispers do? Tell us.
So, Dissonant Whispers, you make a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking with terrible pain. It must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage. It must immediately use its reaction, if able, to move as far as its speed will allow it.
Nice. Its save roll was an 11.
Nope, because mine's higher than that. Mine's 13.
Nice.
Okay.
Good. Do your damage,
and
then it runs as far as it possibly can. Is that correct?
It possibly can away from me. It must make its action to run far away.
On its turn?
It must immediately use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed will allow.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It flees back in that general direction in absolute chaos and panic. So that was your action. Are you going to move?
No, I'm going to drop where I am and start ranging the stones as fast as I can.
Got you.
According to the book.
That's what you're doing? Okay.
Yep.
Warren.
My hands and knees in the dirt.
Not looking too good.
Shit.
I'm just gonna hit him again. Another booming blade.
Make your attack.
Okay.
That's a hit. Do your damage.
+2. Here we go.
Oh, nice. You smash into that poor creature. Bits of armor are breaking off. You can see every time that you've broken into the actual creature itself, there's this yellow fluid that is sort of oozing out of it. It's not like blood, because blood sprays. This is more like a viscous syrup that oozes out of its joint. And you see that its arm, as you slammed it into the side of its arm sort of twitches and seems less dexterous than it was before. It does, however, continue to operate. You doing anything else?
I mean, is it possible to use a bonus action to maybe like try and intimidate him? Just
Sure. Give me an intimidation roll. I will see what it thinks of your intimidation.
I'm just gonna if you don't leave now, you will burn in the fires of Delu.
19, not bad at all. Its save is 16. It is intimidated. It's not entirely sure what you said, but you are vicious, short, and just angry. It's not used to this kind of resistance either. Flint.
it doesn't run.
It doesn't run. It's however it's taken aback by you. You'll see what's going to happen when it acts. Flint, this thing is towering over you. You can see that it's getting ready to. Its mouth is busy opening. It doesn't move.
I can see it's towering over me, guy. Yeah. I can see the dang thing. All right, so just
curse you, guy.
just curse you, guy in the sky. All right. Yeah. So just as a curious question, because I've reached the end of the map. If I keep going north, what is to the north?
So further to the north is more open fields, probably about 2 miles, and then you can see that there is a massive swarm of Clackdaw busy surrounding the city of Feldoon.
Not great. Not great at all. The place that it emerged from, like the
Yes.
square that it came from, is there like a massive gaping hole now?
Yes, there is. And it looks as if there could be a tunnel beyond it.
That's terrible. I don't want to split
Yes.
the party. I don't want to go down there either. I don't want to do all these things. I'm gonna die, guy. Okay, so doing what Flint is doing, he is going to continue aggravating the incredibly large instant kill machine, and yeah, I'm going to, well, ideally, a little bit further north than I'm actually going to do. Basically move around the top half of it
Easy enough.
and move towards the hole. So that is
Towards the flames? Sure. I will.
yeah, towards the flames, and my goal is to end up on the other side of the tunnel it's built.
Okay, I'm busy drawing in a hole for you right now. So that's where it came from. Now, can you see that on your maps in Fantasy Grounds, I'm hoping?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, there it
There we
is.
go. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Just take some time.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Don't do it, it's a black hole.
50, 35. Well, that's not great, but I can get to about there.
Near the flames and fire, which is busy burning. Absolutely. That's
try
not a
moving.
problem. Not a problem at all.
Yep, so that's what I'm going to double move in again, shouting and you know, saying, hey, you, do you ever use one of those legs to, you know, fall down and die? Because that'd be really a helpful trick right now.
The intimidated scout is going to make an attack against you, Warren. He has disadvantage on this attack because of your intimidating presence. It's not entirely sure how to attack you. You can see it's sort of looking from side to side with its claw raised, ready to strike. It does only have 3 fingers, by the way. It then strikes at you. With the disadvantage, however, it misses. It doesn't even get anywhere close to your shield. It's very, very, very nervous. Scout 2, does he continue running Faloria, or does he actually come back?
Okay, so
Is it just for 1 round?
it must immediately one action. It just says instantaneous 60
Oh,
feet
okay.
bonus.
Yeah,
so I think it can come back,
All right, so now it
but
can.
it has to walk all the way back. So
Oh,
it's
sure.
the-
Sure, he will
forward
have to
step.
use his whole movement to get there. He, however, is now nervous. He has seen what you are capable of doing. He does not like that. He sees that Warren is over there on his lonesome, so he's actually going to head down here and try and attack Warren because he hasn't experienced the screaming, shouting Warren, but Warren just kind of
Actually, thank you. Now I can use Green Flame Blade. Now I have something useful.
dodges and gets around without too much of effect. The giant siege spider is basically going to roll onto its belly and die because you asked it to do that leg trick.
Yes!
No, it doesn't do that. It
God,
sadly,
it's the
it
aspects
sadly
that
does
die
not.
more
It's worth a
frequently.
shot. It's worth a shot.
It is worth a shot. It starts to approach you, but it seems to be holding back. Give me an insight check, if you please, Flint.
That is.
That's a success. So as you're looking, you can see the smoke that's billowing off of this flame. This is the main farmhouse. The roof was obviously a thatched roof, and then all of the interior was wood. It's smoking and giving off a tremendous amount of smoke. The creature's head, because it's so high up, it seems to be having difficulty seeing where you are because of either the smoke in its eyes, you're not sure, but its head is definitely being held back, and it's sort of scanning the various tentacles and tendrils and antennae, not tentacles, antennae on its head seem to be searching quite frantically. It doesn't seem as if it can find you. Back to Feloria. You've arrayed out, you just put down 6 stones.
Yeah, I'm gonna put down the 6 stones and arrange them in the pattern that was on the book. Because I'm
on
trying
that
to test
particular page.
on the same page we used before to find out if the same combination will take us back to the same place.
Okay, so you arrange these stones out. Would you roll a d6 for me, please?
Yep. I
Roll low.
keep looking for my dice and realizing,
It's like, where am I? There.
Where are my dice?
One.
One.
You are so incredibly lucky.
Am
You
I?
place down these stones and nothing seems to happen.
Oh, shit.
Warren?
No!
Okay.
They're not working.
You're so lucky. They don't work. Oh, shit.
Maybe you have to be an Ironborn to use it.
Could have lashed out at you then. It could have been bad.
I'm gonna use my flame hammer.
All right.
Bam.
Hits.
And then the second scout takes another 3 points of fire damage. Hoo-ha-hee.
All right. And the main one?
Takes 11.
Oh, you slam into it, and it's oozing. Its actual central carapace has cracked open, and you can see there's this yellow stuff oozing out of it.
Holy crap.
And the one arm is now completely dead. It's not doing anything. It's now just holding its claws, one claw trying to
It's still alive.
attack you. It's still alive. It will not die.
I know it
Flint.
wants to run, but there's nowhere
It's
to go.
just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. Tell me to tell you about Parktown prawns when we finish the session. All right, so Flint, you're up.
Do I see Feloria putting down the stones?
No, because she's on the other side of a ruined wall with a gigantic siege spider in between you and her.
All right. Noticing it can't see me from where I am, I'm going to reach into the rubble
Sure.
and grab like a bit of debris that is
You
aflame.
pull out a piece of hand.
And
Oh, it's on fire? Oh, you chuck the hand
my
away, you
God.
grab a piece of wood.
no, I'll keep the hand. It's meat is fuel. I mean, it's fine. And I'm just going to start waving it defensively.
The hand isn't on fire.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I'll
No.
put it back down then. Oh no, I want something on fire. Yeah.
You grab the wooden tinder. Sure.
Yep.
There's beams all over the place.
And like kind of like like that, like kind of those movie scenes where he sort of sits there and goes, back, you animal.
Right?
Sort of starts waving it.
Sure. Your little torch doesn't seem to do much with the building on fire behind you. But yes, absolutely. You wave it around.
Makes me feel good.
It seems to react in terms of it doesn't seem to react to the movement of the torch. It still seems to be confused as to where you are. Scout number 1, which is leaking and is in absolute pain, is still going to try and attack you with disadvantage there, young Warren. And it misses. It's trying to slash, but its whole one side seems to be completely paralyzed. The other one, however, is not, and does not seem to be paralyzed, but can't hit for any reason whatsoever. You can see again that electrical discharge kind of dissipates into the ground. The siege spider moves around this way, and again, it seems fixated on trying to see where you are, but it cannot see you. Feloria, suddenly the portal opens up in front of you, this great green, blue, shimmering tear, and it looks as if in front of you can see the courtyard of Tungay Keep.
Where we came from.
Where you came from, yes. The stones are
Awesome.
starting to dissolve and turn into dust as the portal is open.
Okay.
So I'm gonna scream out, "I got it! Let's go!" And I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration on Warren Actually, no. I'm going to use my bardic inspiration on Warren,
Okay.
so he can try to disengage from those guys and get the hell over here.
Get the hell out of dodge.
Okay.
You still have a movement.
No, I'm going to guard these, so I'm going to just draw my bow and guard this portal.
All right. You watch as those stones are busy turning into dust before your very eyes. Warren, what are you doing?
Okay. Hearing that, I'm gonna take my action to dodge, and then strategically retreating.
All right.
15, 20, 25, and then, 30.
30. So they have disadvantage on their attacks because of your dodging action. So the first one, the scout here, he will take his disadvantaged attack against you. Miss completely. The second one, let me close him up. The second one does the same thing, also with disadvantage, because that's as far as I understand it. And he also misses, as you have now successfully disengaged. You can dive through that portal if you want to.
No, I have to. We gotta make sure that Flint comes out okay.
What are you doing?
hurry up,
Protecting the
Flint.
portal. What are you doing? Protecting the portal. Go through the portal. I can't. I'm protecting it.
And meanwhile, on the other side, get through the goddamn portal!
All right, so that's what's happening. Flint, you can see the blue tear of a portal dimensional rift having opened up, similar to the hole that you saw before in the burning barn, as a matter of fact.
All right. Is that severed hand still around?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's on the ground.
All right. I'm gonna grab the severed hand, and with the torch, I'm gonna throw the severed hand and the torch into the hole next to the creature.
Sure. That's what you do. You throw a severed hand with the torch into the hole, right? And then what are you doing?
Then I'm gonna run the other way.
Okay. You run your 30 feet.
Can he still
35
dash?
feet. Yeah, chucking the hand and the torch, I'm going to say it doesn't take a full action.
Thank God.
Unless
Oh,
do you specifically want it to go in the hole, or do you just throw it in the direction of the hole?
It's a pretty big hole. I feel
It
like
is.
if I throw it in the direction, it'll be okay.
Yeah,
But
you'd have
the
to be
direction's
pretty
more
special not to do that. Just roll a d20 anyway. Just don't roll a 1.
important. Damn it! Why'd you say that?
Otherwise, it's one of these hand grenade moments. Wow. Wow. Yes. Okay, you're not on my baseball team. You kind of throw the hand underhanded and the torch in that direction, and then you dash as fast as you...
I threw it underhanded.
Yeah. You dash as fast as you possibly can. Scout number 1 kind of looks over. It's busy
guy,
leaking.
Just a quick question. Like,
Yes.
there's a little space between here. Like, is that still a complete wall, or can he not run through that?
This rubble and bits and pieces, it would count as difficult terrain.
Okay. Just wanted
So
to
it
check.
would still be faster to kind of go around. Scout number 1 looks badly injured. It's watching all of this kind of stuff going on. It sees the portal and, well, it simply makes a beeline. No pun intended. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It double moves. You, both of you, Valor and Warren, you both get an attack of opportunity as this thing, as it tries to dive through the portal.
This is just a normal hammer attack
Yeah.
because I don't have
Ooh.
Warcaster yet.
Do I have disadvantage? Because I was shooting with my bow.
You can fire at it as it moves into your territory, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
Scout 2? Okay.
Oh, I missed.
Scout 2, yeah. Yeah, your arrow goes wide. You hit it.
Boom.
It's like, stay back.
12 points of damage. You slam into this thing. It topples, but it manages to get in through the portal.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit.
The scout number 1, he does exactly the same thing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
We can't hit him.
And yeah, you guys are out of attacks and things. He disappears through the portal as well, leaving the giant creature. It gets to make an intelligence saving throw. I need to just accommodate. I forgot to change its intelligence stat from the creature that I was using. It fails completely. It plunges down that hole after the hand and the one flame that it has perceived to be going down. Top of the round, Feloria, those stones have almost run out of power. Well, they've completely turned to dust, basically. There's just the very smallest amount of each little stone left.
I'm going to yell to Flint to hurry the hell up, and I'm going to push Warren in.
Nope. No.
Warren is like, no, I'm not.
Go!
No, I'm not gonna let you.
Give me an athletics check, Felor.
God damn it, get both of you in that damn hole, or I swear to God I'll hang you up on
Get him
myself.
in the hole!
I need to stay behind. This is very serious.
Give me, well, yeah, sorry. Felora, what was your athletics check?
I rolled like a did not pop up?
It didn't come up for me. Oh, was it for
okay,
was it a 6?
But did it work now?
There we go. Now it did.
There you go.
You grab Warren, you try and throw him, and he just stands resolute. He refuses to go anywhere.
In turn, is it possible, possible? Is it possible, like, she's pushing on me? Could I, take that momentum and be like, sorry, and push her instead?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's not a problem. Give me another athletics check. Felora, you get athletics if you're going to try and resist.
Yeah,
Athletics.
Wait, did I supposed to do acrobatics last time?
No,
Or is it still
acrobatics
athletics?
now. To shove
Okay.
someone, you
Acrobatics
use
now? Okay.
athletics. To
Oh,
resist
hang on, I
it,
got
you use...
to go. Hang on, how do we cancel what I just clicked? Hang on, roll over there. I went. So acrobatics.
Acrobatics or athletics, whichever you choose.
I fail.
You're like, what? You disappear into the portal. Sorry, that was on Warren's turn. Flint?
Oh, wait.
I'm in the
Oh,
hole.
that was my turn. I thought that was reaction. Oops.
Not to push her through.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I really thought this was like a reaction-based thing.
Okay, so as Flint charges forward, I'm gonna use one action to jump into the portal. But as I'm jumping in, what I want to do is I want to basically grab Warren by the upper by the bicep, and basically use my weight to basically drag him into the portal as well.
There is so much flailing and grabbing. Warren, are you just kind of looking over at him? You've kind of pushed Floor through, and you get pulled in as well. The world momentarily goes dark, and then... Well,
It died. I saw it. I saw it die.
It died. It died. It did
Yes,
die.
I killed it with my taunting.
You did. You did. You killed it with your taunting. It has left an embarrassed siege spider. The three of you appear in the same courtyard as before. There are guards shouting, "Get out of the way!" as this massive ball of fire is coming directly towards you. What are you doing?
I'm running to the door that leads to where Warren is to find out if he's an eye patch or if he's the other one. I'm running for that door.
I'm telling the I'm telling the folk in the corner to get away from that corner where it's going to collide.
All right.
I need to know if this is an eye patch Warren or the old Warren that disintegrated or a completely new one. Like I'm testing theories right now.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
everybody, get inside. I'll make sure to guard your way in, just like last time. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh my god, Flint, please shoot your musket and roll one.
No! No!
Yes! Yes! What?
There is a slight difference, however, as you are busy trying to go through the same motions. The two scouts that you were fighting in the previous iteration that jumped through beforehand, they have already come through, and they have quite seriously damaged both of the guards that previously had shouted warnings to you.
This is fine because this might be Groundhog Day, so I'm still running.
So I'm gonna throw us back into a new initiative. We're gonna reroll.
Wait,
initiatives.
we need that map again then, because I don't have. The
I'm gonna share it with you now, and you are once again back in the Tungay Keep. This scout acts first. It is going to try and hit the guard. It misses. The guard apparently is very dexterous. He gets out of the way. This one is going to try and take out this guard. Misses as well. They're obviously wounded or terrified, or I'm not sure what's going on. Guard number 1 is going to strike back at the scout. Gets a natural 20 because this is his castle, and decapitates the scout. It literally drops dead to the floor. There is nothing left for it to do. Guard number 2 sees his companion doing that against the scout. He swings. He misses completely because he's not nearly as good as his companion. Valoria, are you now running down that passageway?
Yeah, I'm running down the passageway to get to Old Warren.
Okie dokes, you are running.
I know where he is.
Running past people. Oh, what? As you pass all of the
Go to the courtyard!
that you passed before. Flint, you've shouted warnings to the incoming fireball. Your rifle is with you. What are you doing?
Man, I'm so tired. Flint is just tired. This is immediately after he's just been running around constantly. He's back here. He's just like, we traveled for a whole day and then we had to fight this thing and now we're back here again. He is going to, you know what? I'm going to go straight for the meeting room. And Flint's intent is to go and tell the Duke he needs to get the hell out. There's no reinforcements coming. This place is going to fall. Get your people, go down the tunnels, hide in the swamp.
All right, so you're rushing off down there, leaving Warren on his own. Warren, you watch as this large fireball slams into the corner of the courtyard where the guards used to be. There is still this one scout plus the 2 guards.
Flame hammer.
I really wanted you to shoot and fire a 1.
Yeah. Oh, you hit him. Do damage.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Because there's a guard there. I don't want to hurt the guard. This is booming hammer, but we all know. Hey, everybody. This is Freddie Hines, and I want this thing to die really badly.
You smack
We need
it
a win.
for 9 damage. It cracks like the previous one. It does not die.
Did I have advantage because of the other guard?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah,
it wasn't focused on you
get,
anyway. You stepped through the portal.
If it's crit or not. Nope, that's
no.
fine.
All right, it's still standing. It's taking the damage. It doesn't seem to recognize you as the main threat, so it's going to attack the guard first. It misses the guard. Guard 1 is going to counterattack. He completely misses, even though you are... I'm going to roll again. Yep, still misses with advantage.
Aw, poor guy.
Guard number 2 comes rushing over, screaming,
Big party.
"Where did you come from? Well, I don't care. You're a blessing nonetheless. I'm afraid you've arrived in hell." He misses as he swings wildly, more impressed than anything else. Valoria, you burst into this infirmary where, again, you burst into the infirmary. Again, you see this form of Freddy lying on the table. As you do so, he rolls onto his side. He looks up at you and he simply says, "You're wasting stones. Why are you wasting the stones?" Valoria, I'm sorry. Just remember that, okay?
Does he have any stones or books?
He does not appear to have any stones. He doesn't have any books either. He looks as if he's lying in rags.
Alright, so I'm gonna run. Does he have the eye patch or no?
No, he has both of his eyes, but he's crisscrossed with scars everywhere.
So I'm gonna run up, grab him by the face, and like, tell me within 5 seconds what just happened to you before to kill you.
I'll come back to you on that one. Flint, you burst into the Duke's meeting. What the devil is the meaning of this?
All right, Duke, now listen here. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say this quick. All of y'all need to get out of here right now. This tower is about to fall. Okay, look, you know what? Easier said than done. I take off my hat and I show that I am a completely metal man. I am from the future. You're all gonna die. Get the hell out of here through the secret tunnel that old lady has the key to, and you do it now.
The old woman is looking very sheepishly. I am not old, she snaps. The Duke looks from her back to you. You know this mechanical man?
Look, if she knows people from the future, then that's a story for another day. For the time being, you need to know Feldun ain't gonna send any help. Your folk are gonna die, and that building is gonna be the first one to go. People are already here, and now you all need to get up and get out.
Give me a persuasion check. You have advantage.
We're shifters. Quick term shifters.
You're suffering from a cough there, Freddy.
Oh man, terrible.
Right,
Actually, it
you
was a legitimate cough, but I used it. nevertheless.
19.
19. He looks from her to you. He looks back again. Well, you heard the man. Evacuate. If we can save as many, I want all the soldiers out first. I will leave myself, get my wife out, and my children. I don't know who you are, but I suppose thanks are in order. Feldun has fallen, you say?
Well, give it a few minutes, and yeah, it definitely will be. There's some refugees holed up in a temple of,
Lycii, yes?
That one. There, her. There's some refugees there. You head over there, and the first thing you do is you shoot the guy with goat legs right in the face, and you tell him Flint sent him.
I'm not sure what shoot means, but fine. We will arrest any satyrs. Goatman,
No,
satyr.
you shoot that fella. You shoot him in there. Yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, fine. No time for this. And I will then run off to the
All right,
infirmary.
before that happens, back to Warren.
Yeah.
At this point, you see Warren just kind of like just.
As this thing is cracked and oozing everywhere. Please don't miss.
Bam.
Oh, you hit it. You hit it. Do damage.
Oh my goodness.
How does it die is the question I have to
see.
ask.
Booming claw or whatever. Got him.
Yeah, just barely. He does die. He is broken and cracked into various pieces. You get the sense that it would be very difficult to knock one of these creatures out. It kind of looks like once you crack the carapace, they just ooze everywhere.
Ugh.
This doesn't count as a person. We should go. We gotta go, guards, because this whole place it's gonna go. Let's go.
Right.
Come with me.
And you start running.
No time to explain. Let's go.
Who the hell is this kid? Says the
It's
one.
me.
to the
Let's go.
Yeah, look, we've got to protect him, right? Yeah, got to protect him. That's a good one. Yeah, we can both leave with that. So yes, the guards start following as they worked out the logic of how they can defy their orders. Valoria, old Warren is looking at you, and he simply says, "She knows. Somehow she manages to find us wherever we go. So you just got to keep moving, all right? And when you see Flint, tell him that I really wish I could see him again too." And as he does that, the sort of green vein seems to spread through his neck and face, and his eyes kind of roll back, and he starts having difficulty breathing. Several of the priests have gathered around him. One of them looks and says, "It's Blight. You won't get him back, I'm afraid, unless you've got more powerful magic than we have here." There we go.
I don't now, but I might in the future. I would ask Warren, I would say, I know it hurts. I need you to draw where you were last before this happened so I can find you later when I'm strong enough. I would grab a pencil and put his hand to the paper.
Give
So when I
me a
get strong enough, I
give me a Constitution saving throw, Warren.
Oh really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I might get a chance to find out somewhere where you are so I can stop this.
14. All right. With his hand,
Does
as he's
future Warren
choking,
have Metacon?
he tries to draw
I'll
these
never put it into it.
these symbols, he draws 5 out of the 6 before he collapses.
I'm just gonna hold him and start singing a song to how a mom or something would hold and sing a lullaby to their kid.
Right.
I'm just gonna hold him I will help. I'm gonna figure this out.
All right. It's at that point everyone has now gathered. We're out of combat. The castle is on full retreat. There's still fighting going on, but everyone is leaving. The old lady comes rushing up to you and she says, "I'm not sure exactly how you know all of this. I assume it has something to do with shifting."
Yep.
That's pretty much the sum of it, ma'am. Yep.
Very
We
well.
are
I
shiftlers.
won't question it then. I assume that's... Well, what should we know? If you seem to have done this before, you say the castle is going to fall. I agree. I understand
We gotta go.
that.
We gotta run.
Look, here's all I know for now. Is that the satyr is in with all the refugees that I told you about in the main, meeting room. He is a honorary varmint that's working with these clack-clack-do things.
Well, the
Second
satyrs
is-
were attacked first by them when they got here. I do know that much.
Yeah, he's long gone. That man is a walking corpse, as we like to call it. So do not trust anything he says. The next thing you need to know and be aware of is that Feldun is gone, or at least it will be gone by the time you have any hope of getting nearby. At this point, your town, your village, your city, whatever you all call it, it is all about the people, and those people need to survive.
I suppose we can use the swamps and head south. See if we can perhaps make it to Sparvan. If Feldun has... No, but maybe... perhaps we should try and make it for Lorcan Castle then. That's a massive fortress. They can't have taken that by now, surely. I will advise the Duke accordingly. I wish there was something that I could give you, but there was a shifter, I think, who came through before, but he didn't seem to have anything upon his person.
He didn't have any of these weird stone-like things?
He did.
You still have them?
No, I'm afraid we thought them to be cursed, and so we cast them into the swamp.
Oh well, no matter. Anyway, listen, you gotta evacuate as well. And for what it's worth, I wish you all good luck on your journey.
And you too, I suppose, she says as she gets the rest of the healers to leave. Valoria, what are you doing? Warren is kind of hopping around. We gotta go!
It has
exactly right.
future Warren Trust. Has he passed yet? 'Cause
Yes,
I'm
he's
not gonna
died.
leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's definitely died.
So I'm gonna double check quickly, pat him down that he has nothing that'll help me find where he was.
He has a brand or a tattoo burnt into his shoulder.
I do?
Okay.
Not at
I'm
the
going
mo-
to. I'm going
And
to
it's
take a piece of paper and just do a quick etching, do that and get the shape of it.
Yeah, the tattoo won't do that, but you can make a sketch
Oh,
of it.
I
without
thought it was a
problem.
brand.
No,
Sorry,
no,
I thought it was a
no,
brand
yeah,
because
yeah.
that would be blistered up. Okay,
Gotcha.
so then I'm just going
This
to trace
looks-
over it quickly.
It looks quite old, as if he's had it for quite some time. It's written in Elvish and in Common.
I speak both.
Yes, and it's the same word in both. It says traitor.
Are you in there?
You don't have one at the moment, Warren. It says traitor in Elvish and in human. And it appears
As
to
if
be...
he betrayed us?
It simply says traitor. What
Okay.
that means, you're not sure. The center of it is a round badge, and it looks as if it's a lion on one half, a rampant lion. So that's the lion with its claw open. A rampant lion on the one half of the circle, and then the other half of the circle appears to be a dragon with its head in a similar pose. The dragon side is on the Elvish, the lion side is on the common English side.
I'm guessing the dragon might be Delu. Okay,
Yeah.
so I quickly sketch it, just like a circle, dragon this way, and write it down. And then I'm like, he said that she can find us no matter where we are. We need to leave this realm now. We need to go to a different one. He says keep moving.
I agree. Just before that, though, looking at the body and looking at the mark on his the blight, That doesn't happen to look anything like the brightness or anything, does it?
No, it does not look like the brightness. The brightness is boils and lots of surface skin damage. This looks like it was growing inside his actual veins.
Okay.
More than anything else. Yes, correct.
Yep.
Correct. Warren, you busy hopping around trying to encourage these people to leave?
Yes! I'm like, we gotta go! The building's gonna, like... Oh, jeez.
That sounded a lot like.
He's coming out! We gotta go! We gotta get out of this tower, Rick!
Roki doki dok. All right. So taking out the wait. Sorry. I think Law, you've got the bag.
Yes.
I have the flag with the other 12 stones, so I'm gonna take him out, and I'm going to just shift the one. So I'm gonna do like the original one that led us here, and shift the stone clockwise by 1 on the top first stone.
All right.
I'm going to keep a map of where we've been and what has happened.
All right. So this is so you're kind of sketching it out. And you switch the one clockwise to the top.
So I'll do the same 6, but the first stone, I'm going to switch that clockwise by 1.
All right. So that's what you do, and then you place the stones around. Roll a d6 for me, if you please.
Me?
Yeah.
6. The bomb goes off. We all die.
5.
Nothing seems to happen. There is a distant booming sound. Mortar kind of comes scrabbling down. The sounds of people running. Someone shouts, "The flies have landed in the courtyard! Quick, fall back, lock all the doors!" Someone sort of sticks their head in. They look at the three of you. "We're evacuating! Come on, you gotta leave."
Go ahead. We'll borrow this door. Go ahead. Evacuate.
6 seconds tick by. Another 6
I'll
seconds
move-
tick by.
I'll move one of the beds by the door and like just sort of like create a rudimentary barricade and lean up against it.
Absolutely.
I'll have my
Warren,
shield.
give us a hand.
You can hear banging on that outer door that leads to the courtyard as obviously they're trying to get in. Another 6 seconds ticks by. That door banging, there's a wrenching, ripping sound of wood as the door splinters in. You can hear that sort of electrical discharge of the clack-clack door as they start moving in.
Yeah.
Another 6 seconds crawls by, and suddenly the portal opens up in front of you.
Hey, Flint. I don't think I can take on another one of these guys. I'm way too tired. What do we do?
Flint will sort of look over to Warren and say, "Whatever it is, we're gonna do it together." And I'll sort of take him by the arm and take Law by the arm and pull us all into the portal.
Wait, what port? Oh, okay.
Whee!
All right, so you get pulled into the portal, and as you do so, this is where you appear next. That's 11%. Was that? Does that? No, that didn't roll a percentile.
It didn't
It rolled a 10.
pop up on ours either.
There we go. 15% is rolled. 15%. I'm going to check the world that you step into. That's exciting. The portal disappears around you, and it looks as if you are standing in a forest. There is trees. It's quite pleasant, as a matter of fact. Doesn't seem to be on fire. It's definitely during the day.
Yeah, Warren just falls flat in his face. Just
I'll
Warren-
put his head into my lap and lean against a tree and just like, oh.
Warren falls flat on his face asleep. It's probably a good
Flint-
place to be.
Flint takes a moment sort of feeling, I imagine it's sunny out.
It is. It's quite a pleasant day.
He sort of looks at his hands and he's sort of looks really confused. He sort of mutters under his breath, "It's warm." It's like he's never actually felt sunlight on his skin before, or in his, plates before. So it kind of has this very strange sensation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. He certainly has not had that before. Floria, what are you doing?
So I've got Warren's head in my lap. I'm looking around, but the forest is my home, so I feel I kind of would probably be like at peace here, at calm here.
Sure.
Because I used to come into the forest during the day with Veer, so I would probably be reminiscent of that and just feel safe for a moment to relax.
Absolutely.
Squirrel.
As you are starting to relax, there is a shout that emanates from one of the trees nearby, and I'm going to share this map with you. And as that happens, the shout occurs and these goblins just burst out of the foliage, completely surrounding you. They've got bows drawn. There's a bigger one that has stepped forward. As he does so, he shouts at all of you, "Oi, humans! You're under arrest. You coming with us, yeah? Come over or we'll kill you. And Golem, you're free to go."
I'm not a human.
"Yeah, you're a bloody elf, which is even worse." And we'll be back next week when the adventures of the Broken World Chronicles continues. Thank you for watching and bearing with the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. I'll try and clean those up if I can. I'm not sure how I will exactly. To my players, thank you for participating. It has been a hell of a lot of fun. It's a little bit early, so I think the best thing to do would be to head on over to our chat and see if any questions and things have come through of this chaos that we call role-playing. I know I said that it was supposed to only be an hour long and then an hour with a bit of a break. I didn't do that. Forgive me. I felt that it was just going to break the flow. So there we go. End of show. Lots of people watching both on YouTube, I think. Yeah, we've got some people on YouTube and we've got people on Twitch. So thank you for being with us both sides of the stream, I suppose you could call it. Everyone seems to have enjoyed it. I wish I could read the comments. There's so many things, so many comments that have gone through. I haven't looked at them. Comment of Warren doing his Shaggy and Morty, Morty impersonation, and then Michael jumping in with Scooby-Doo. So there we go. Very nice play, says Jonas P. Thank you, Jonas. We did have a lot of fun doing it. William Mashtalia says, "Great job, guys. It was really fun. Thank you." Extra Nerdy asked, "Not doing the two-part thing." I was supposed to do the two-part thing. I really was supposed to do the two-part thing, but as we got to that hour break, I felt that to suddenly break and then to carry on, it was just going to be too disruptive. So let us know, do you like that? Do you prefer the 1 hour? Leave us comments wherever you can. I would like to get your feedback. What do you guys think in terms of doing a 2 hour block or doing 2 1 hour blocks?
2 hour block for sure. Honestly,
you prefer
doing
2 hour?
Doing it by 1 hour by 1 hour. It seemed like, I hope this doesn't sound like harsh in any way, but it was odd. Like when it's like immediately posted on YouTube. It's like part 1, part 2, and then pregame. Like it's like all up there, 3 sub videos at once. Like it might just be better for somebody if they could just see it all in one. Well, I mean, excluding the pregame. Also, it felt like storytelling kind of went a lot more smoothly just because we didn't have any interruptions. We just kind of went for it. And hell, I mean, it doesn't mean we have to absolutely go for the 2 hour. We just go until where the story feels right to end it, which could be like an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes or up to 2 hours. Just feel like that's overall, it's easier for you guys instead of be like, okay, and we're done at the hour, everybody go disperse while I try to continue this. I feel like it's easier on you as well.
Absolutely. Technophobe on Twitch is agreeing with you as well, saying I think the 2 1 hour blocks was disrupting. Kai, what are your thoughts?
I like the 2 hour, like going for 2 hours, because I find like you get to a point where you build into it and then you kind of want to keep going, where when you chop it up, it's like you get there and it's end break, and then you have to get back to that momentum again.
Right. Absolutely. Michael, your thoughts?
See, I'm gonna go the opposite way. I quite enjoyed the 1 hour break, then 1 hour, because for me, when you have a live show, at least, there is an audience. There's an audience that I think deserves to be acknowledged in some way, shape, or form. If you just do a 2-hour session, then being live, in my opinion, just kind of loses something. It's like, you're not really engaging, you're not really doing
right?
something. But having that break in the middle where we can like say hi and get asked questions, and then even have people think about stuff and bring it up with us and actually have a dialogue about the events that are occurring. Well, yeah, that kind of sort of slows down in certain ways. At least the first couple of times we've done it, it hasn't really broken the flow of the story. It's been more like here's a cliffhanger, or here's a point where, which is good for us to kind of take that quick, 10, 15-minute break and, just get to know some of the audience and, throw out some ideas and thoughts. And yeah, no, I quite enjoy it. But I do agree with Freddie in the sense that when it was posted after the event, having them go so quick in succession. Like, I mean, if I were that, I'd probably like break it up to say part 1 is on day 1 and part 2 is on day 2. Just to break it up.
Make people have to wait for it. Yeah, that's
I know.
Well, now it's all live anyway, so I think that's the point. I think there's some comments coming through saying, well, by doing as one big 2-hour block, at least I don't get the chance to make more technical mistakes. Oh, I will find ways and means of breaking streams. You have no idea.
I think most of the people who are messaging though are saying the vote that they have the break.
Right, so that's what I'm looking at. Like on my streams, like we don't really enforce the break or the time. Like, what if it was just like again, like maybe we go on for like an hour or 20 minutes, and then we want to keep going, but you're just kind of like, all right, you know what? Let's take a break here, and then we could still extend that time to talk to players.
Yeah.
Right. Or at the very, like we're doing now, like at the very end of the video as well, we could also reach out to the players if we don't have a break. So why not just have all of it then?
Gotcha.
But just play it by ear.
Play it by ear is kind of what I'm hearing. I think if you guys are agreeing, playing it by ear, as we get to a natural lull, we can take a bit of a break. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, absolutely. I see there's some questions coming through about the world that Flint came from in terms of sunless and lack of sky. If you watch out this week on the YouTube channel, so it won't be on stream because of course it doesn't last for very long, but on the YouTube channel GM RPG Sessions, there will be the biographies of the 3 characters. The guys have recorded some lovely biographies. I'll be posting up those later on this week after the session, as a matter of fact, but it does sometimes take some time. So you can then go and listen to the worlds that they came from. There's a bit of information there, but it's also something to be discovered, I think, as we go along. The real question I have is the fact that it's yes, the world that they ended up in, that 15%, I've weighted it, they've actually ended up in a very interesting world that oh yes, there's definitely sun, there's far more to it than that, so yes, I think it's going to be very, very exciting.
Just a quick one on that. Are our worlds on World Anvil in that big?
That's correct. I have not put up your world write-ups yet, so I need to add those into the World Anvil space. Correct.
Ooh,
Correct.
okay.
Because each one of us has our world that we could possibly end up in, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So without a doubt, you can go and find that. Is anyone actually following on the World Anvil type of stuff? Is it worth carrying on? Is it worth doing? Since you guys are the active watchers, you get to cast your votes. So that's something to look at. Grizzles, I think someone is admiring your armor hoodie. I would, yeah.
That's where I'm actually trying to find right now.
You're busy trying to find where it came from, so watch this space. He's going to share that with you. Goblin Overlords. Well, you'd be surprised when I got this world. It's one of the submissions from the Patreons. I absolutely fell in love with it straight away. So yes.
Is this one of our Patreons?
This is one of the worlds from our Patreons that they've ended up in. So
There you go.
Hope you should message them and let them know we're using it.
yeah,
Ooh, I like
it's like watch the show. Yeah, so that should be a lot of stuff, a lot of fun. So there we go. Jonas says, quick question: how intelligent was that big spider. Oh, that spider, yes, that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful spider. So the Clack Siege spider, as I called it, it's not super intelligent. It really isn't. I'm not going to give too much away. It did fail its role completely in terms of trying to follow that hand and the flame.
There you go.
There's more to it, which the characters will discover later on. But yes, they're not hugely intelligent, so it wasn't operating very well. There's also certain things that happen when they are in proximity to fire. If that wasn't obvious, it should have been. So that does cause some issues. And yes, that's a hell of a link there, Freddie. So you can go get your own hoodie there. If you are going to go and buy that hoodie, can I ask that you go to the Great GM website first and go to Amazon via our shop link? At least then we can capitalize it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
I was about to say just.
I'm just stealing your purchasing.
Just as a curious question, Guy, how close to like a full-on TPK wipe were we in in that one? Right? Is everyone else feeling what I'm feeling? I feel like we're kind of glossing over this. The fact that
I went from full health to on the floor and almost one-shotted out.
That was a natural 20. Criticals are dangerous.
He let a lot of things slide for us to not die.
Yeah, look, I because we're in the show, because this is supposed to be unpacking the whole thing, it's a good question. It really is. And to be perfectly honest with you, I hadn't anticipated you guys hanging around that much. Although I must admit, now that I have played with you guys and I've played with Save or Dice players as well, I have realized when I add a giant creature that is completely and utterly beyond the power of the characters, I now realize that they're going to run towards it rather than away from it. Because Save or Dice guys did the same thing. Oh, there's the giant thing. We're running toward. Anyway, I know that you didn't actively do that.
In my defense, I was trying to pull it away from everyone.
No, there was definitely. Yes, there was definitely.
I was having a fore nap, you know.
Yeah, and I tried to get everyone to keep running back, but it's not my fault. I clearly can't hit the ground if Flint falls over.
No, yeah, there is that.
No, I totally get that. I was the thing is like with our situation, it was with those clack clacks. Like that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stay here. I have to have Lore do this and just try to defend as much as possible. I was at 7 hit points left. I would have definitely gotten killed by the next hit.
Correct. You know, but what I always have the mentality of is that all of the actions that you took when you guys were doing the intimidation thing and you were trying to call the monsters away, kind of get the monsters to move around and those kinds of things, I was letting those have more effect than mechanically they might have. Because it was such a dangerous situation. It was such a tricky situation. And you guys are making good calls in terms of I try and lure it over here, I try and lure it over there. So yes, that definitely was the idea there. But anyway.
I got a question on YouTube from William Mash Taylor, I think that is. Flint seems to be very straightforward in the moment, but does he have any private dreams and aspirations?
Do robots dream?
Do robots dream? Yeah, electric sheep. No. He actually does have, I suppose, a dream of sorts. You wouldn't really call it a goal, you know, like many people, at least in the RPG kind of settings and stuff, have something that they seem to be moving toward or moving to progress in. Flint isn't really looking to do more than, say, survive to see the eventuality of something, which I don't really want to go into too much detail because that'll happen obviously along the journey and as you get to know Flint a bit more. But he, in his nature, was taught to be the kind of person that he wants to create a future for, if that makes sense. So he kind of tries to lead by example by being strong so that the next generation doesn't have to be, if that makes sense. So that's his I suppose aspiration and dream is to get to a point where people don't need people like Flint.
Right. Well, that and so much more. So watch out for his character video when that comes through. Yes. Okay. So we have got to our time. So thank you once again to our players for participating this week. I do appreciate it. I had a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys again next week. But just remind us, Michael, where can people find you?
People can find me at the Dead Aussie Gamer on Facebook and on YouTube. I do a whole bunch of videos, mostly specializing on the more performance aspects of what I do. So voice acting, just kind of like portrayal and narrative and how to create characters, as well as some monster spotlights. I even do like a voice acting challenge as well. So people submit their characters, their bosses, their monsters, and I try to throw a silly voice into it. And you can also find me on Discord through all my channels and stuff like that.
Lovely. Thank you. Kai, where can we find you? Well, we can't find you at the moment. Hey, you need a second monitor.
I need a second monitor and I need to start streaming Twitch again. So I do stream video gaming on Twitch normally. I'm at Pixie Chick at Twitch. Then if you want to find me on Twitter and Instagram, see lots of pictures and videos of my adorable new puppy, it's at Kai Gallant.
Yeah, Trinket is cool.
Trinket's so cute.
Still eating everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
She likes to eat dirt.
Oh, well, there we go. And Freddie,
And everything else that consists of dirt.
Freddie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Joyride Entertainment for YouTube, and we also do our own streams on Tuesday for either Koi Stream or Joy Fighters or whatever it is, because we just play Smash and whatever the newest game is, like Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. And then we've got our Joy Quest on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and where I'm the Dungeon Master, and Yahoo! That's really about it. I also do voice acting bits and jobs, and actually I might with that video guy, like when we send out those guys, I'm going to throw in my email. That way, if you guys ever need a voice actor, because I am one, I'll pop on over and give you some voices.
There you go. Lovely. Perfect. Okie dokes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, watching. I will do the debrief after this anyway, so stick around for that if you want to have a look. But to my wonderful players, thank you. So long, farewell, and goodbye.
Bye.
We're all going to die next time.
Okay, so they have headed off, and they are a lot of people, a lot of fun to play with. I'm going to take my headphones out now, so I'm not talking to them as well. And thank you to all of you. I'm going to do a very brief review. That's if you want me to. I noticed that not a lot of people were watching on YouTube that review last time. I'm going to go through it anyway because there was a lot that was going on in that episode. Did not end where I had hoped it to end. That combat was very dangerous. I had meant it to be dangerous, and they were right. There were some times where one had to sort of just let things slide and let things run through rather than just kill them off. I think I have achieved, let me bring up all of those goals and things that we wanted to beforehand. If I bring this up behind me, wrong window. If I bring this up behind me, like that, you will see that we have now hit everything. We've got everything that they wanted to. Extra nerdy, I see your comment that you hate the fire. Have you only just noticed that now? I've been using it for quite some time. I have started making a new one, but they take so much time, and sadly it's not yet a major focus of mine. I saw that you made some commentary about doing some backgrounds, so if you do, send them along. We'll be happy to use them in the show. So we had all the boxes ticked. We've ticked how to use the rough stones. They've now figured out. I hadn't anticipated them jumping back to the same time again. I'm quite happy with the fact that they did that. To me, it kind of shows that they're caring about the world that they're in and they're caring about the people. Get out, run, leave. They've now created this portal and have now stepped through. We did happen to roll into one of the backgrounds that was created by the patrons. I've weighted those higher than the ones that we kind of created because I think it's more fun to use those anyway. So it's going to be a very interesting experience to see that. I've got the whole write-up. I will then add it to World Anvil for you to have a look at once we get there. We have gone through everything now. We've solved everything that we had set out to solve to teach the players. That there is the rough stones. We taught them that the clack clack door are dangerous, and we have given them something along the line, something to hint at the purpose of the clack clack door, or that there is more to it. And I think that is something that is because we had it in our, because I had it in my mind, because I had planned that I wanted them to know more about the hive, when they went back in that jump to that same time period, and they were rushing back in to try and see whether this was a new iteration of a Warren or not, I had not anticipated that. So I had no plans for this Warren that they came back to. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this Warren going to be doing? I didn't want to give away too much. I didn't want to give away what was going to be happening. So I was like, okay, cool. I had just finished reading the world write-up for this world, the character that had been submitted to me, and I had that in my mind, and I was like, okay, if we dress him up in rags, it doesn't give away too much. Now, when you are dealing with future predictions, when you're dealing with dream sequences and the like, it's best to try and be vague. So I went, okay, cool. There's a tattoo. It's got a dragon on it. It's got a lion on it. It's got elvish and human, and it's treacherous. And what that did, that was directly inspired by a submission in terms of a world. So I was like, okay, if they ever get to that world, I have seeded it. I prepare, I sort of planned it way in advance. Of course, it was made up on the fly. And then they arrive, and then I can use that same symbol. So I have actually seeded it. I just kind of, you change the order around. So that was the plan with that. Making him in rags just took away any other kind of descriptor that they could possibly get from him. The blight growing through him to kill him off. One of the things that I want them to get a very strong sense of is that although they can go back in time to the same time frame that these stones were set down upon in this particular book that they have, it is not that it's going to always happen like that, point number one. But point number two is that it's always going to change. The moment they come back, things have changed. So that's why there weren't more stones there. I wanted to start putting pressure on them that they can't just use these stones all the time. There needs to be some serious pressure. So they've now only got 6 stones left because they had 18, then they burnt it to go back in time. Then they had 12. They've now burnt 6 to get to this forest with sunshine in it. I had said that I did not want to delay them jumping to the end of the show because it gives me a week to prepare. That is how it kind of transpired. Now, when they rolled that 15%, that was the world that was submitted, and you're going to see that that tattoo is now going to come into play. I hadn't anticipated them going to this particular world. It's just how the dice rolled. So they are now jumped into this new space. This new space is a very interesting space. The world that was submitted has got some very interesting dynamics in it. I like it, and I hope that they're going to stay there for a little bit of time. Now, with this mission that we have just finished, this adventure that's just finished, I'm going to let the characters level up because they had a lot of experience fighting all of these new kinds of things, these new kind of environments. So I think that's pretty good. They're going to level up. I'm going to send them a quick message on Discord to get them to do that. And we now have a week to plan this new session, which is great. It's a lot of fun. I can make some maps. We can really go to town on it, not just generic maps either. So I think that's really, really cool. On those maps, Dungeon Fog is the one who provided us with all of those maps. So, well, they provide us with the technology to be able to do them. So I really am grateful for that. Now, there was another point that I wanted to talk about, and that was in terms of setting up a big bad. We didn't really have a big bad in the first show. Well, in the first sort of adventure, there wasn't really a need for one because we were introducing the idea of the clack clack door, and that there was this thing. Now Warren's future has said she can follow. I didn't want the clack clack door. We listed them, and you can see it behind me. They're listed as a clack clack door hive. So they are a hive with a central mind, central hive mind. I always debate, should it be a male? Should it be a female? Should it be some kind of androgynous type of creature? The queen bee, the queen always comes to mind in terms of putting the central figure into place. There's the Borg Queen from Star Trek, whom I very much liked. The Queen of Blades from StarCraft. So traditionally, we are driven towards the sense that she is this all-powerful entity, and of course, there is this sense that, well, maybe she isn't the big head of the hive because he didn't really go into it. But there is this predator that's out there, and she seems to know. I also seeded that they can track the characters. Again, this could just be the ramblings of the Warren character who feels that something has allowed them to track their movements. Again, though, what I was trying to do was something that I was having an issue with was to have the clack clack door as individual dimensional entities is a problem. Because if that's the case, then the characters with the ability to jump around arrive in a new world with a significant advantage over the local inhabitants, or at least the local clack clack door if there are any in that particular world. So I wanted to make it start to be apparent, and whether this was successful or not, I don't know. But the reason why I had those two clack clack door scouts rush towards that open portal once they had opened it when they were in that big battle in the farmhouse was specifically so that the players might pick up, aha, these creatures are as desperate to use the rifts as the shifters are, because it allows them to get to different dimensions and to share their collective knowledge. I also established, and this was not planned, this was something that I made up on the fly because I did not want the clack clack door to kill Faloria. It's like, well, welcome to the show, characters die. Maybe I should have done that, but I didn't want to do that because we were also fairly early on into that particular session. The lightning antennae, with it being able to telepathically communicate, I thought that would be an interesting option rather than it attacking and killing Faloria. It is the villain pausing to have its monologue, allowing the character time enough to survive. And in this case, it worked out that way. It allowed me to achieve that goal, which I'm grateful for because, yes, it allowed them to learn more information. It also allowed us to figure out that the clack clack door communicate telepathically with this electrical kind of stuff. So I thought that was quite cool. I then needed a way for the clack clack door to be pulled back, to be pushed away, to be defeated somehow. The players did not pick up on my gas. I had spoken extensively in the swamp experience that the clack clack door were not in the swamp because of the gas. The peasants, everyone had sort of said, okay, I think it's because of this, I think it's because of that, I think it's... So they did not pick up on that. So then I thought, okay, well, fire is quite a good thing. And I happened in that battle map that I put together, I had put down some fire because I thought it was pretty cool. In terms of creating an illuminating effect on the map. That's something that I like about Dungeon Fog. Then when Flint ran towards the fire, I thought, okay, so the insects traditionally do not like fire. Most animals traditionally do not like fire. So let's use that. Let's give the characters a way out. Because again, it was a very real risk. They were engaging rather than running away. I had expected them to flee, but they stayed to beat the hell out of this poor little satyr who had, yes, betrayed them, and that was part of the plan. Someone was going to betray them at the very end. That was the surprise ending. I'm just busy looking here. The showdown that I had originally planned. The clack clack door have a sympathizer in their midst of the refugee who uses a light mirror to signal the clack clack door where the refugees are. They reveal the KKD to be here, and the Queen is their god. So I didn't do that. I didn't have the refugees give rough stones to the players because they had already been given rough stones by themselves or a future version of themselves anyway. The idea of why did the poor little satyr want them to hurry up was because the sun was setting and he wasn't going to be able to use his light mirror to signal the clack clack door. So he pulled out his panpipes. It should have been a lute. That was completely my mistake. I forgot that he was using that. And he played a tune and that happened to summon them. So I changed on the fly, and the players didn't know this and they wouldn't have been aware of it, that he had pre-set up this ambush site at the farm. And that's why it then took place, that battle took place. I realize also that I should not set up the maps whilst the map is on screen, because then you guys can see that map being set up. So I think that might have detracted a little bit. So those are my thoughts on this session. I felt that it went fairly well. I think everyone had fun. It certainly was fun from my behalf, trying to solve all of these challenges and things. And I think that it doesn't matter how prepared you are, how planned you are, your players are always going to throw you curveballs and do things that are, to me anyway, unexpected. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to add to this now, this red block behind me, which is what have I seeded. I'm going to have to go in here and update a lot of this kind of stuff in terms of okie dokes. Well, there are so many different things going on here that we really have to keep note, and this is one of the ways. I'm going to do that after this show though. So I see some suggestions coming through in terms of the chat. We've got suggestions of the creatures themselves being asexual in terms of their reproduction processes. Maybe they could very well be, and I think that could be quite an interesting idea. Maybe there is a single male that inseminates eggs and all of the females produce eggs for them to do that. And then there was quite a lot of discussion on that. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think it's an absolute great option. We'll have a look at that. We'll come out and decide on that as we move forward. So for now, that was the show. That was the game. Thank you for participating. I really do appreciate it. And that technical glitch at the front, yes, I now realize that. Yeah, managed to get in the goblins at the very end in a cliffhanger. We were a little bit early, but I would always rather end a session early with the players going, and now can't we carry on playing, rather than to end it on a, okay, you've all been arrested. It's kind of a downside. At the moment, there's still potential for them to escape, for them to break free. But when they then discover what's going to happen next, I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the next session. So there we go. Unless there are any questions that you guys have for me, I think we're going to call it a day. So if you do have any questions, just send them through now, and I'll see if I can answer that. Specifically related around this show, if you have questions about your own game, or you have questions about role-playing in general, join me on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that is 6 p.m., not 5:30 as it was today. But if you do come through, 6 p.m. Fridays Pacific Standard Time is when it's sessions with a GM, and that's with me, where you can then ask me all of those kinds of role-playing questions and things like that. It will be a lot of fun to have you there as well. We do all sorts of weird and wonderful things in terms of creative writing as well. Okay, I don't see any questions having come through from the session. Either that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure. I hope you were entertained. And I will say from me, thank you very much for being part of this. And until the very, very next time, I wish you all the very happiest and joyful of gaming.